Heist, lawyer guardian ad litem for the children.
Sasha Thomas, counsel for the department. I believe Ms. Jones and Ms. Grant are present. Ms. Jones was our investigator, and Ms. Grant will be our ongoing worker.
Chelsea Grant, ongoing worker for the department. Amanda Jones, CPS investigator.
Good afternoon, Charles Noe, appearing on behalf of respondent mother. State your name, please.
Oh, sorry. Faith Double. Mother. Mr. McFadden?
Michael McFarland, appearing on behalf of one respondent father. Please state your name.
Jeffrey Adamson.
I'm sorry?
Jeffrey Adamson.
Thank you. And Ms. Spencer?
Alexis Spencer, appearing on behalf of respondent father Austin Duby.
Mr. Duby?
Yes.
Could you give us your name for the record, please?
Austin Duby.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. Spencer, let's start with you. Have you reviewed the petition with your client? Do you have any reason to believe that he would need that read onto the record today, or do you know if he wants to waive that?
Yes, we can waive reading. I did go over it with my client. Thank you.
Very good. Are you aware of whether or not any other cases other than those previously disclosed apply to concern any child of your clients?
No, only the ones listed.
All right, very good. Do you know whether or not your client has any Native American heritage or reason to believe that he or his child would be eligible for tribal membership?
He did not inform me that that was the case.
You go over that with him once he's sworn. And how would you like to proceed?
He would like to enter a no contest plea and accept the case service plan.
What would be the basis for the no contest plea?
So there are some criminal, there is a criminal action right now that he was obviously in jail for at the time of the first hearing that he was not here for. So he obviously does not want to admit that he did anything in that case that could be used against him.
Yeah. Any objection to that, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland?
No.
Mr. Noe?
None.
Ms. Heist?
No objection.
All right. Very well. Let's go to you next, Mr. McFarland. All the same questions.
Yes, my client does waive reading of the petition, Your Honor. We wish to enter no contest plea based upon number 38, which are assault allegations against a minor child in this case, Your Honor. Specifically A, B, and C.
Have you inquired of your client as to whether or not there are any other reason, if there's no reason to believe that there's another case that applies?
No other cases.
Or whether or not he has any Native American heritage or reason to believe he would be eligible for membership?
And my client does, as we mentioned in court last time, they have some allegations of Native American heritage, Your Honor.
Very good. It does look like there were some inquiries sent, so we'll circle back to the department on that question. All right, Mr. Noe, does your client wish to have the petition read onto the record or waive that?
Let me waive, Your Honor.
All right, any other cases other than those previously disclosed that would concern her children?
None known, Your Honor.
Any reason to believe that she or her family members are members or could be eligible for membership in any Native American tribe or band?
Not that we know.
And how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, my client would like to enter a plea of no contest based on one of the allegations, specifically numbers 11 and 12. In addition to that, my client would be in agreement to enter the case service plan with the modification of L being just adding the words at the end of it as enforceable against her. That was discussed with counsel and also with Ms. Thomas. And I believe there's an agreement with that modification.
So she wishes to enter a no contest plea and to proceed to disposition immediately? Because we typically would have a 28-day time frame in between, and
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Your Honor, my client would like to proceed to disposition. He has reviewed the case service plan. I think signed that. Did not? Okay, well, he's read it. He's willing to go into the case service plan.
As is mine with the one modification.
And my client is.
Okay, all right, okay. Any objection to the no contest plea by the other two parents that you can pick up for any reason, Ms. Spencer, Ms. Thomas?
No objection.
No, Judge.
No objection.
Ms. Heist, do you find it to be in the child's or all of the children's best interest in this case for me to accept these no contest pleas and allow the case to proceed through disposition as well today?
Yes, Your Honor, the children are placed with Mr. Patterson and Ms. Double, and this would allow them to get started on their services quicker and quicker towards reunification and closing the case. Thank you.
Very well. Deputy Ames, if you could please swear in Mr. Jeffrey Patterson, Austin Duby, and Ms. Faith Double. You're receiving right now a written copy of your trial rights, which I'll be going over with you verbally in a few minutes.
You can remain seated, but please raise your right hand if you're going to be sworn in, please.
Mr. Duby?
Thanks. Sorry to give you two jobs. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Duby, do you have any Native Americans in your family or have any reason to believe that you or?
On my dad's side, yes, to do, I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure it was, I'm not sure the name of the tribe, but they originated in Muskegon and around like the Lake Michigan area.
Great. Have you told Ms. Jones or Ms. Grant about those family members?
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you happen to have their names? Or do you know what their names were?
I know my father's name, Scott Allen Duby, but
Scott Allen Duby?
Yeah.
All right.
Scott Michael Duby, sorry. What was his mom, who was his mom's name? Because it was like, she was like
He passed away when he was very young, right before he was a year old.
I don't know anything about that side
have
of
not
it.
been in contact with the family since.
Okay. What is your name, ma'am?
I'm Abigail Bregman, I'm his mother,
Abigail, how do you spell your last name?
Brittman.
All right, Ms. Brigman, would you be able to speak with either Ms. Grant or Ms. Jones about any other information you have about the Native American heritage potential?
I don't really have a lot of information on that, I just, through word of mouth, is all I have, I don't really have any.
I could ask my,
Okay, one at a time, please. That's the other problem that we've got is we're trying to make a record, and although I have certainly a video available online, when Ms. McGrath, if she has to do a transcript, it becomes very difficult when different people are talking at different times for us to follow that. So that's why I was asking if you wouldn't mind, Ms. Brigman, to just talk with Ms. Jones or Ms. Grant after today's hearing.
Okay.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, very good. Okay, so all three parents, I am going to go over with you your trial rights. I have received your signed copies, which I appreciate. But I'm going to go over them. I'm going to go over your rights with you before I can take a plea today. If you accept or enter a no contest plea, you are giving up the right to a trial by judge or trial by jury. The right to have the petitioner prove the allegations in the petition by a preponderance of the evidence. The right to have witnesses against you appear and testify under oath at trial. The right to cross-examine witnesses, and the right to have the court subpoena any witnesses that you believe can give testimony in your favor. Do you understand that you're giving up or waiving the rights I've just indicated to you if you admit the allegations in the petition and enter a no contest plea, Ms. Double?
Yes.
Mr. Duby?
yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Yes.
With regard to the consequences of your plea, or in other words, what will happen, the court will do the following. There will be continued investigation by the caseworker to see what the problems are in your family and how and whether they can be solved. The court could dismiss the case if there's no need for the court to be involved. If it appears that there is a problem that may be solved, the court can make the children temporary wards of the court, place them with mother or father or with relatives or in a foster home, and order programs for you and your children, such as counseling, drug and alcohol treatment, assessments, and parenting classes. If it appears that you will not be able to provide a proper home for the children in the reasonably foreseeable future, the court could terminate your parental rights. With regard to the plea itself, including a no contest plea, the plea can also later be used as evidence in a proceeding to terminate your parental rights. Do you understand the consequences of your plea, Ms. Double?
Yes.
Mr. Duby?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Yes.
You have any questions about any of the information I've given you so far, Ms. Double?
No.
Mr. Duby?
No.
Mr. Patterson?
No.
Is anyone making you enter a no contest plea, Ms. Double?
No.
Mr. Duby?
No.
Mr. Patterson?
No.
Has anyone threatened you in order to get you to enter a no contest plea, admitting to the allegations today, Ms. Double?
No.
Mr. Duby?
No.
Mr. Patterson?
No.
Outside the terms of the plea agreement, which to my understanding is essentially simply that you're entering a no contest plea, has anyone promised you anything to get you to enter a no contest plea? Ms. Double?
No.
Mr. Duby?
No.
Mr. Patterson?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or anything else that could get in the way of you understanding what you're doing this afternoon? Ms. Double?
No.
Mr. Duby?
No.
Mr. Patterson?
No.
Would you say your decision to enter a no contest plea is one you've made of your own free will? Ms. Double?
Yes.
Mr. Duby?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Yes.
Very good. As it relates to the no contest plea, you will not have to verbally acknowledge any violation of the statute. That would be up to the department to make a showing that there's been a violation of the statute, and then I would decide whether or not to find that and accept your plea. However, you are effectively identifying the issues in the petition with the entrance of a no contest plea, and that is what the case services plan is built around, which I think I'm glad to hear that you've all had a chance to talk with your attorneys about that today, and that you at least indicated preliminarily that you understand what that's about, so that's good. All right, as it relates to the factual basis of the plea, Ms. Thomas.
Your Honor, typically I would ask for Ms. Jones to put that on record, but given the time constraints, I'm going to ask counsel if they would be agreeable to stipulating to the petition as filed to serve as a factual basis.
I would.
I would, but for number 30, it states that he is in jail and he's obviously no longer lodged there.
Sure, it's simply at the time that it was filed. At the time it was filed,
Yep.
Those were true.
No, Judge.
All right, very well. Ms. Heist, do you find that to be acceptable?
Your Honor, I wonder if we could swear Ms. Jones and just have her attest that this is true and accurate. If she did sign it, you could accept that that is sufficient, but other than that, I do think that the facts laid out demonstrate what the family needs for services and how the case service plan will show a roadmap for reunification.
That sounds like a good idea. Ms. Jones, would you like to just step up to our podium for a moment?
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Ms. Thomas, would you like to lead that voir dire?
Sure, thank you. Ms. Jones, how are you involved in this matter?
I was the CPS investigator with the family.
Okay. And as the investigator, did you have the opportunity to speak with the family, have contact with the children, and review prior CPS contacts within the internal system?
Yes.
And did you sign your name to the petition that is in front of the court today?
Yes, I did.
And was that as a result of you drafting the petition that is in front of the court today?
Yes.
And under oath, do you affirm that the contents of the petition are true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Judge.
Ms. Spencer?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Can I ask a question about the case service plan, Your Honor, or
You may.
for that? As far as priorities on the case service plan for my client, where should his priorities be?
That would not be me. That would be a
You are correct.
Chuck.
Okay.
question for Grant.
I
Chelsea Grant.
have no questions.
Mr. Noe?
None.
Thank you. Well, Ms.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Ms. Jones. All right. Understanding that the factual basis for the plea then is simply the court taking judicial notice of the allegations in the petition. Counselors, are you satisfied with the advice of rights and the factual basis of the plea?
I am.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Very well, thank you. The court is also satisfied there are indications of physical abuse, medical neglect, lack of supervision, and some other issues that have been well identified in the case services plan that's been engineered to help the parents understand both the effects that these things have had on the children, as well as how to develop some skills in order to create a better, safer environment for the children moving forward. I also find the plea to be knowingly, understandably, and voluntarily made by all three parents with a full understanding of the consequences that were reviewed on record today. Moving into the disposition, Each of you have the right to have 28 days to meet with the department, to look at that case services plan and to have input on that plan. And then it would become part of the court's order moving forward. And it is how I am able to determine whether or not you're making progress in those areas that are barriers. So if you would like to proceed into the disposition today, you'll have to waive that 28 days. Is that what you wish to do, Ms. Double?
So
You 28 days. Whatever, 20 days. They've agreed to that. So you feel that that's-
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in terms of Ms. Double, again, the only revision we would ask, I don't know if the court has that, but is agreeable, but with that one revision, we're agreeable to the case service plan.
Do you have a version of the case services plan that you like, that your client would want to?
I had one before I came to court, but I marked that up significantly. So I don't think that's gonna be acceptable to court.
All right. Well, it might be easiest then just to schedule our disposition. Which is perfectly fine. That will give you some time to look that over. And also you're welcome to begin your case services. If there are things that you want to get started on education wise, some referrals for counseling or whatever that may be, you're welcome to get started on those before we come back.
That's fine, Judge, or I mean, I can also just submit to the department, it's an addition of 4 words to the end of one requirement of the case service plan. And that would resolve it today, but that being said, I understand the court's position as well.
Well, I appreciate that. Ms. Spencer, does your client have a case services plan that he wants to have entered today?
We were fine with the proposed case service plan. We did go over all of the, everything included on that, so.
Mr. McFarland?
My client wishes to start the case service plan today, Your Honor.
All right, is there another copy of the case services plan for Ms. Double floating around anywhere that Mr. Noe could potentially use to accomplish his goals for today? Actually, maybe I have one. I'm gonna look
I
at
have
it.
a clean copy, I just have one though.
That'd be fine. Thank you.
I do have a court report that was prepared for today, as well as some proposed case services plans as part of that packet. I'd be happy to hand those over. Deputy Ames, if you wouldn't mind taking those over. I would assume these are identical to the ones that have been previously circulated. Yes. There should be one for each parent, actually. Mr. Noe, did you find another copy somewhere else?
Yes,
I have
yes, the casework gave me 10 enough.
All right, very good. So Deputy Ames, there should be one for Mr. Duby and one for Mr. Patterson. If the 2 of you could look those over, please. And if that is the case services plan that you wish to have the court enter, I'll need you to sign that, and that will become part of today's court order. I find further, for purposes of adjudication, that the factual basis for the plea has been met by the allegations in the petition, which I briefly visited on record, but there are certainly grounds to find that jurisdiction is appropriate.
Your Honor, I did just modify the one that was presented to me, present that to the court.
I'm sorry.
I just kind of hand wrote a modification on mine. Is that agreeable to the court to enter that?
It's okay with me if it's okay with your co-counsel. Which I think Ms. Thomas was nodding.
Yes, Shatter. I mean, as it relates to that specific element of the case service plan, the issue is ensuring that the department is only considering whether the parents are violating PPOs or no contact as issued by the court order or issued by a court order as it is enforceable against the respective parents. So we have that understanding. I'm happy to put that on the record, but I believe that handwriting that in or simply stating it for the record will suffice for my purposes.
All right, Mr. Noe, what is it that you wrote in?
Modifications of section L It currently states State Double agrees to follow all PPOs, no contact orders set by Lenawee County courts. I added as enforceable against her and initialed that.
Any objection, Ms. Thomas?
None.
All right, objection or position, Ms. Spencer?
I have no objection.
Mr. McFarland, any objection to the amendment that was just read onto the record by Mr. Noe?
No.
No objection, thank you.
Very good. Deputy Ames, if you could collect that one for me, I would appreciate
Then a signed copy to the bailiff, Your Honor.
Right.
All right, Mr. Duby, I've received back a copy of the case services plan that appears to have been engineered for you. Is this your signature on page 3?
Yes.
You agree and you understand that you're bound to accomplishing these goals, and that will be what I'm gonna be looking at this moving forward. Do you understand that? Mr. Patterson, I'm looking at a case services plan that appears to have been engineered for you. It's a 2-page document that appears to have your signature on the 2nd page. Is that your signature? I'm sorry, what?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And you understand and agree to be bound by these case services?
Yes.
Very good. Ms. Double, final question for you. Is this your signature on this page 2 with the modification?
Yes.
All right, and you understand that this is what you're gonna be bound to for case services moving forward?
Yes.
All right, very good. Do you wish to take any additional testimony on the court report or emails for purposes of the initial disposition, Ms. Thomas?
Your Honor, I think that given the time constraints today, and that the parents are agreeable with the case service plan, the court report, actually, I'm going to strike that. I do need to take testimony from Ms. Grant to admit that court report, as it does have some of our ICWA documentation.
Ms. Grant, actually, why don't you just stay where you are for now?
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Ms. Grant, we are looking at a court report that you prepared for today's hearing, and it also includes some ICWA documentation. As it relates to the case or the court report, are there any updates or modifications that you need to make to it on the record?
On the record, so the information for ICWA as it relates to that is updated for the most of information that I had until today in the court hearing about Austin's potential, although we did send ICWA documentation for his children also, I believe, to Cherokee, which is what that the updates were. I believe it was the Eastern Band. The only other amendment or update that I have is in the court report. It was talked about how the children were referred to early on. I did get those assessments this late in this morning, afternoon before we got here. Did not have time to circulate it. I did bring enough copies for everybody, but I did get those referrals for early on.
And as it relates to the ICWA documentation, just something that I've noticed in my records that there's different spelling as relates to Mr. Jeffrey Patterson's name. How do you have it spelled in your system?
Jeffery.
Okay. Your Honor, may I inquire from Mr. Patterson if that is in fact the correct spelling of his name?
It is, Your Honor, I just asked.
Thank you. Okay. Well, with that, Your Honor, I have no further questions about the court report or the attachments. And move to admit them. Thank you.
Any objection, Ms. Spencer?
No objections, thank you.
Any objections?
No objection to the court report.
No objection.
Thank you. They are received, the court report, the ICWA documentation, and then it looks like there's one other attachment, which is an IEISC report. And those will become a part of our court file, as well, of course, as the advice of rights forms and the case services plans. Any other comments? The record today, Ms. Thomas?
No, Judge, just asking for 90-day review. Thank you.
Ms. Spencer?
No further comments, thank you.
I did have the one question of the worker about priorities for my client, if I might ask that.
Sure.
Thank you. I see you also have a psychological evaluation in the case service plan. Where should my client's priorities be and who schedules the psychological evaluation?
Sorry, we schedule it. I have been in contact with Dr. Haugen's office. However, he is scheduling out until July. We do have a second provider that I located. I reached out to her, but I haven't heard back yet. It is a psychological, I'm not sure how late she is scheduling, and I know that both of them want to get started sooner rather than later. If hers is sooner, she does do virtual, which would be easier, I think, on both of these clients to work and the children in their care. And if that's the case, I'm going to make that ASAP.
As far as prioritizing in the case service plan, where would you expect my client to prioritize?
We're going to start with the psychological and the kids' trauma assessments. However, the oldest child's getting him re-enrolled in therapy is also part of the parents' highest priority.
Thank you. Thanks for it.
Questions, comments, Mr. Nuri?
Thank you. I would kind of echo Mr. McFarland. I heard his questions and your answers. Would you agree the same questions, the answers would be the same for my client as well?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions then.
Very good. Any comments as far as the record goes for adjudication, prelim, or disposition that we've accomplished this afternoon?
Just a piece of housekeeping, Your Honor. I did file a limited appearance in this matter, and that was only through today's hearing. So I would ask that my client, obviously, she has the opportunity to rehire me or get a different attorney or whatever. But until that point, I would ask that until that point, I would ask the court to appoint from the defender's office to represent my client following today's hearing. Obviously, you can end up retaining me further on or somebody else, that can change. But for today, moving forward, please.
Right. Ms. Heist.
I have no closing, thank you.
All right. Court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's preliminary hearing and waived notice as it relates to the adjudication as well as the initial disposition. And that was well documented on the record today. The court will issue the preliminary hearing order, the adjudication order, as well as the initial disposition order with all of the case services plans attached as reviewed and signed by the parents today. The children will remain placed with the parents. That is the safest and least restrictive under the circumstances, especially considering that they're voluntarily and eagerly, it would seem, ready to get into case services plans, which is great. We're going to have our first regular review for all three parents on July 23rd at 9 o'clock in the morning. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Your Honor, I do have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Just
ahead.
briefly, Your Honor, as it relates to parenting time with Mr. Duby, there was a prior court order that I believe Ms. Double was supposed to be exercising exclusive parenting time, from my understanding. And the recommendation is that parenting time remain suspended until there's engagement with services to ensure safety of the children. So if the court can just make a ruling on that part in its orders, would be grateful for the direction.
What is the position of the department on parenting time?
Right now, the court report from Ms. Grant indicates that we would seek for suspended parenting time for the time being until there's progress and benefit from services.
Is there a risk of harm associated with parenting time?
Your Honor, I admittedly do not have the prior court order up regarding how they ended up in this situation. But the contents of the petition also indicate inappropriate discipline and parenting skills.
Your response, Ms. Spencer?
Yes, I did discuss this with my client, and because the order from October 16th of 2023 signed by Judge Anzalone did suspend his parenting time until further order, we were fine with accepting that moving forward until he obviously gets his psychological assessment so that he can begin having supervised or therapeutic.
Very well. Ms. Spencer, if you come across something or your client is making progress and you'd like to revisit the issue of parenting time, I am also here before you come back for your next review. So feel free to reach out to the guardian ad litem, who's very familiar also with bringing things to my attention in between hearings in the event that something changes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Ms. Heist, would you agree with the position offered by your co-counsel?
Yes, I do, and I believe the agency's plan is to continue the visits with Mr. Duby's parents, who are very bonded with the children, so that he will have some assurance that the kids are doing well through his family connections, while he gets treatment or whatever we can do in the meantime.
That's great. Glad to hear that. Thank you. All right, I will include that then in the order. The suspension of parenting time would continue then until we come back for our next review, or until I've had something and you receive an order otherwise. I will not have the court orders for you immediately today, but they should be coming to you within the next few days. Any other questions?
That jury trial will be off then for the 22nd and 23rd.
Yes, but I will expect to see you back for the review on the 23rd.
Due by children, file 24059.
All right, we're on record for our first regular review. The mother, Miss Faith Double, is out chatting with her attorney at this moment, but there are a couple of other parents and some updates, and we need to get started. So she'll be able to rejoin us as soon as she's done with that, and she's already started that. So hopefully we'll have her back soon. I have names of our participants.
Lee Heist, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Sasha Thomas, counsel for the department.
Chelsea Grant for the department.
Alexis Stang, attorney for the respondent father, Austin Duby.
Michael McFarland, represent the other father. Please introduce yourself.
Jeffrey Grace.
Can the court hear that?
I did.
Thank you.
Okay, and I do know we have Miss Ariel Berger and Faith Double chatting at the moment. They are both here. And I'll be rejoining us shortly. All right, Ms. Heist, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. The court report is very thorough and gives us a lot of medical information, a lot of early on evaluations. I see this case as we've been familiar with these parents for a while through different cases, and it looks to me like with the department's eyes on the children, we're going to make progress and get some the littlest one caught up on her breathing issues. We're going to get JJ fixed by his counselor, who not only does IHT, but also sees him at Boys and Girls Club one-on-one. That therapist at Parkside indicated that we don't suspect physical abuse, but the bruising and the rough and tumble may need more supervision. So I think that's a different kind of a case than, so that we can partner with the parents and make progress. The therapist indicates that the children are growing up in an environment that is hostile, which could have negative effects on the children. And this is an opportunity for Miss Double, who has so many strengths. And I look forward to watching her accept this extra help, extra eyes on to perfect what all the kids need. There are some reports that are some of the kids' needs, for example, for medication, with 4 kids and a job and everything that's going on, it must be hard. But with the support, we can make sure that JJ gets his ADHD medicine on time so that he doesn't disrupt Boys and Girls Club. Let me look here. So some of these outstanding referrals, just a minute here. I wanted to make a note of, okay. Especially Aurora's medical things, we need to make sure that mom has the support she needs. I'm hoping to have the family better organized by the time we're done with the case, and supports in place. Possibly the domestic violence between both of the fathers maybe, and mother support is what my theme is. I observe the children, the 3 younger children at daycare, and they're very enmeshed in daycare. They're an important part of their friend groups. There was a period of time, this review period, where the kids were missing from daycare, which alerted the caseworker, and she got them right back into that. She worked with mom, who got the children right back into that structured environment where they're building relationships and they can have this consistent caregiving in a very the environment looks very respectful to children. Okay, so I did not visit JJ face to face, but I'm really looking forward to observing him with Chris especially. But I think this case is very hopeful that we can get where we're going. It's been a long time that we've had these loose ends, and I'm interested to see after Mr. Duby's treatment, how much better he can become. He's on probation. He's doing what he needs to do. So many good strengths in this family, but all together, it can be a mess sometimes because there just looks like there's so much to do. So I'm looking forward to the family getting better organized, which is crazy because Miss Faith is very on top of a lot of things. It's just that when she turns her backs, the kids fall off their bike and get hurt at soccer, and they rough and tumble, which is what started this case. Rough and tumble, and the kids get a bruise, and everybody needs to make sure that there's enough support in the family to reach all the goals. But I look forward to working as a cooperative team to get this family supported, and all the kids need supported. So that concludes my report.
Yeah, the record should reflect we have been rejoined by Ms. Hubble as well as Ms. Berger virtually, so welcome back. Ms. Thomas, who would you like to start?
Thank you, Honor. I'm just considering our time. I would like to call parents first, with the understanding that I will keep questioning pretty brief, if that's agreeable to the other attorneys.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll ask Ms. Faith Double to be sworn in, please.
All right, Ms. Double, come on up to our witness.
Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Resist that, you're careful.
Good morning, Ms. Double. So I'm just calling parents first to allow them an opportunity to sort of share how they feel their last review period went, how they feel their progress in their case service plan has gone, and if there's still areas of need that the family has and you would like to work towards on the next review period.
Thank you. I appreciate it because I was actually just talking to my lawyer about that out in the hallway. So one of the reasons why the kids sat out of daycare for so long is because first Braxton was having problems with his asthma, and we were told by urgent care not to bring him back. And well, not permanently, obviously, but until his asthma got better. And that's when he went with my friend. And then they caught head lice. And so I had to take care of that before I could send them back to daycare. So them sitting out of daycare was not my fault to begin with, but I do want to, so there is, I have been giving my son his medicine the way he's supposed to. There was one time that his dad actually took his medicine up there because my car broke down and it was at my cousin's house and I had no way of going up there to give him his medicine. But I read through the whole entire court report, and I wanted to say that I disagree with a lot of the stuff actually that was put in there. Like, for instance, that I don't give my son his medicine the way he's supposed to and that it could disrupt his learning. I signed a paper with the school last year. The school has been giving him his medicine since last year. And so the school calls me whenever they get low on his pills, and I just take them more in, but nobody even asked me about that. Just so you're aware that I feel like that was somebody not doing their job properly, because there's no proof that I was not giving my son his medicine. And like I said, I signed a paper with the school last year where they dispersed both of his medications to him in the morning and in the afternoon.
So I just want to clarify, are you responding to a sentence that states this, and there's two sentences, Madeline reports ongoing concerns of the parents not meeting medical needs of the children. This includes treating the children's asthma and distributing medications appropriately as prescribed and following through on referral recommendations.
And I have told Madeline several times that we give him, he takes 2 different inhalers. One I don't know the exact names of them. One starts with a B and the other one is just, I forgot what the other one's called. But the one that starts with a B is supposed to be given to him in the morning and at night. Me and Jeff give him both of his doses, and the albuterol is as needed. And so we give that to him as needed, but the one that starts with a B, me and Jeff take turn, well, more not like take turns, but we both give him the morning and the one he's supposed to go have before bedtime.
And you understand that Ms. Grant is simply reporting what was told to her, correct?
I just don't appreciate the fact that you guys are supposed to be helping us be a better family, but you guys are putting stuff that's slanderous in there because it's definitely not true. And then nobody even asked me, nobody even approached me to be like, hey, is this true or not? And I feel like as part of your guys' job, you should be doing that instead of putting stuff in your court report that is not true and is slander. It's slander. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But those are my kids. And like for you guys to put in a court report that we're not giving him their medicine the way they're supposed to, it really does hurt my feelings because I try really hard to be a good mother. And when you guys are putting stuff in the court report that is not true, really hurts my feelings.
Ms. Stubble, I don't mean to just dispute that. I just am stating that the sentence indicates that that's the medical provider's concern.
And she has no proof of that either. I've told her repeatedly that he gets both of his doses and the albuterol as needed.
Okay.
And every time he's gotten any antibiotics, every time they've gotten any antibiotics, we have given them all of their medicines like they're supposed to.
Okay. And I know that there's some concern about frustration for having to go through like the background checks for people who are providing care to the children.
Yes. I did ask Chelsea, I sent her a message and I don't feel like I was being mean at all, or I was being like out there at all. I just simply stated that she's taking all of my support systems away from me, and that Leona, I don't know if you guys are aware, the one that she tried to say is not fit for my kids to watch. Leona has 50-50 of her own kids. So how could you guys deem her fit for her own kids, but tell me that she can't watch mine?
Sure. I think that's not a question your attorney could answer for you, okay?
And also I kind of felt like you guys were picking and choosing who you wanted to be in their lives, because like you have one person that Chelsea is saying that my kids are safe to be around, even though her kids have been in and out of foster care. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. All right. And I think that those can be answered with like a family team meeting between Ms. Grant, and if Ms. Berger can also join, that'd be a really good idea, I think. Otherwise, how do you feel like IHT is going and the in-home services that you're getting?
I love Chris, and JJ absolutely loves Chris. I feel like he has definitely developed a bond with Chris, and it's going good.
And you are still employed?
Yes. I probably put in about 50, 55, 60 hours a week.
Generally, the court report is pretty favorable that you're compliant with all of your elements of your case service plan. Do you feel that that part is accurate?
The case service plan?
Yes.
Yes. I just did not like the court report.
And as relates to contact with Mr. Duby, are you still able to not have contact with him? It seems that there's through you're not allowed to have contact with Mr. Duby, is that correct?
Mr. Duby is not allowed to have contact with me.
Okay.
And there's nothing court reported saying that I cannot communicate with him.
Okay. And you're aware of the upcoming appointments for the psychological trauma assessments and for the kids? Are you aware of those appointments?
Yes, I got a planner actually, and I wrote every single appointment down in my planner. And I look at my planner every day when I wake up in the morning.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions at this time. Other attorneys might, okay? Thank you.
Questions, Ms. Berger?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Stubble, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. You had indicated that in the court report there was a reported incident of arguing at the pediatrician's. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you explain that for the court, please?
That was another thing that I disagreed with. So Jeff had 2 of the kids at their pediatrician appointment, and we were talking over the phone. I don't know if he had me on speakerphone or whatever, but we were talking over the phone, and I was actually working at the time the kids were supposed to be picked up from daycare. And so he had already run over his appointment time, the appointment time for the kids by an hour. And we had figured that he would be done with the appointment, their appointments, before it was time to, he should have been, technically, he should have been done with the appointments before 5. But the pediatrician was running behind apparently. But anyways, so we were debating, not really arguing, because every minute that is after 5, we have to pay $2 a minute for every minute after 5. And we have 3 kids that are enrolled in the daycare. So that's really like $6 a minute, every minute that we're late. So I was trying to tell him that he should explain to the pediatrician that he has to leave to go pick up the other kids, because in all reality, who can afford that?
Okay. So was he able to leave then and go get them?
Yes, he did explain to the pediatrician that he had to be at the daycare at 5 to go get the other kids. And he probably had to rush her a little bit, but we still got to the kids in time. But we weren't arguing. We were simply discussing who is gonna go pick up the kids, because like I said, we were working, and it's $2 a minute for every minute we're after 5.
Okay. And there was also mentioned in the court report an ASD evaluation for your son in Ann Arbor, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And can you explain to the court a little bit more about that, please?
Okay, so his pediatrician did send out a referral to DHS to have him tested. I took him into DHS like the pediatrician wanted me to. They sent me a letter stating that they could not offer services to him because they didn't feel like he needed them. And then she sent out a referral to a place in Ann Arbor to get him tested for autism. And when I called the place in Ann Arbor, they told me that they had years waiting list, years. And I went back to Dr. Madeline, and I told Dr. Madeline what they had told me, and she replied to me that she is not surprised and that she would try to figure out something else. She never got back to me at all.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add today?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions for you, but some of the other attorneys might still, okay?
Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes. Talking to Mr. Patterson, isn't it true that you've had tubes put in your ears when you were younger, and you
Yep.
tend to project your voice loud, which might be misunderstood as argumentative, but it's just loud. Would that be accurate?
That is very accurate. I had tubes put in my ears when I was, and this, Chelsea says that I get loud sometimes. It's not really me getting loud. It's the fact that I did have tubes put in my ears when I was small, and I still can't hear right.
Thank you. And you know that if you can't hear us, you can just let everybody know.
Well, sometimes I do, and then sometimes Jeff will be like, really, you have to say the same thing 3 times? Yeah, you do, because I can't hear you.
Thank you very much. Nothing further.
Ms. Spencer?
I have nothing.
Where's our GA now? Ms. Heist?
No questions today. Thank you so much.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat.
Thank you.
Ms. Thomas, who would you like to hear from next?
Mr. Patterson, please.
Deputy, would you swear in Mr. Jeffrey Patterson, please?
Front of your please, sir. Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Just step there.
Mr. Patterson, you heard the questions that I asked. Okay. And is there anything that you would like to state on your behalf as to how your portion of the case is going?
I'm just waiting for my assessments, for my psych eval and trauma assessment. We're just waiting for the dates so I could attend them. Other than that, it's just prepping and a lot of waiting.
Okay. And overall, your court report as it relates to compliance to the case service plan is also pretty favorable. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Are there any concerns as relates to the contents of the court report that you would like to explain?
I don't think so.
And you're aware of the date and time for your psychological evaluation as it's scheduled?
Yeah.
And during this review period, you've been active with the IHT services?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you find those helpful for your family at this time?
Of course.
And is there anything you want to tell the court today?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. I have no questions. Well, no further questions. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Yes, you and I have had a discussion that we would like a copy of the trauma assessments on the kid and your psychological report as soon as they're completed, rather than waiting until the next review, so you can understand what's going on. Is that correct?
Yes.
You also heard Faith's testimony that you and her did not have an argument, just her talking loud. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. As far as priorities, do you think you understand what you need to do in what order and that's being accomplished?
Of course.
Any concerns you might have?
No, maybe just that we possibly get maybe a little bit more prioritized for the.
So I will ask the worker, as you and I discussed, and maybe ask her the priority work, okay? I have nothing further.
Ms. Spencer, any questions?
Nope, nothing. Thank you.
Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Heist?
Mr. Patterson, it wasn't clear to me in the court report. It looks like you're working full-time, that's right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what kind of work you do?
Work at Martin Rea, fast-paced assembly tables, clip cell with brake lines, fluid, and they do fuel and brake there.
Okay, and then do you and Miss Double have independent transportation? She has a car, you have a car?
Yes, we do. We have 2 cars. They're both in her name, but we share them.
Are your services for this case something you can accomplish without missing time from work?
Easily. I'll make
Very
time.
good. Nothing further.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your next witness?
Mr. Austin Duby.
Mr. Duby?
Raise your right hand, please, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
All right, help us. What is the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Duby.
Duby, okay. Mr. Duby, you've heard the other parents testify. Is there anything that you would like to state about your side of the case?
No.
Okay.
Just that I'm waiting for my psych eval on the 5th at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I got calling CMH today to get the other stuff set up.
One of
Let me
the,
ask him to speak up just a bit. I have a fan above my head.
Did you hear, do you want him to repeat?
No, I could make it up.
Okay, thanks.
and you have indicated, at least per the court report, that you are or are going to be attending AA/NA meetings, is that correct?
AA meetings.
Okay. Have you been able to maintain your sobriety since rehab and when you're discharged on June 26th?
Of course.
And do you realize that you have to give a copy of your AA or NA meeting logs to Ms. Grant?
Yeah, but I haven't been to any, so I haven't been able to get it. I don't know where they are around town here, and my home groups are all in Ann Arbor. I don't have transportation.
Okay. So a list of local groups may be helpful for you?
Yeah, I know there's one at the court, in the probation office downstairs. I just gotta go take a picture of it.
And currently, you are waiting for housing?
Yeah, transitional, but if I can find my own place before that, I'm going with that.
And are you
Yes.
working at this time?
Yeah, through Express Staffing and Tecumseh.
Have you participated in or engaged in any parenting time classes or parenting education classes? I'm sorry.
No, Chelsea told me she was gonna group that with my supervised visitation.
And as relates to like the individual therapy, is that something that you're gonna, is that what you're referring to by going to CMH?
Yeah, I'm gonna get individual therapy. Try to get back on my Abilify.
Okay. It looks per prior court orders, your parenting time was suspended back in October. Is that accurate?
Mhm.
And what is your position on parenting time right now? Is that something you're seeking?
I wish, yeah, of course, I miss my kids every day.
To the best of your understanding, what do you need to do in order to get parenting time back?
I don't know, you guys tell me what I need to do and then I do it. Just doing with my kids, servicemen, that's all I can do. If I had it my way, I'd go see my kids right now.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell the court?
Not that it hasn't already been said.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Austin, did you remind me what happened with your criminal charges? You're on probation? And when did you enter a plea and start your probation?
I entered a plea last September because they weren't gonna let me out of jail unless I did. So I took a plea of aggravated assault and a year probation, $1,400 fines.
But you were in jail at the time this was filed in April, no? Is that not right?
Oh, no, that's a different one. That's with the whole other prison. That's with Dakota.
Okay, so you're on probation you're still on probation for the one you just talked about. Is that right? Because it would have been.
Yeah, they extended my original probation, yeah.
All right, and then you had some fines. Is that through Lenawee County, the aggravated assault one?
Yes.
That's got it, all right. What are the other terms of your probation? You drug testing, counseling?
Yeah, I drug tested every week. I got a drug test tomorrow.
Who's your probation officer now?
Liz Westgate.
All right, does Liz know to release like your drug test results and some of those updates to the caseworker?
I think she does. Okay, yeah.
Next time you meet with Liz, will you let her know to talk with Ms. Grant or sign whatever releases you need to.
Okay.
That way you don't have to test it 3 different places.
Okay, it doesn't matter to me.
Good.
Yeah, I could do
All right, what other services are required for you on your probation?
that. Services, anger management, which I can do online. It's an 8-hour class.
Have you started that one yet?
Yes, bits and pieces, but I haven't been through the whole 8 hours yet.
All right. Anything else?
No.
And then so you said there was another case? What's the other one?
Okay, so there's an aggravated assault case from last year.
Okay.
And then there is a domestic violence case from this year.
So that's where you were. Did that new charge a violation for you when you're?
Yeah, it was a violation, but they gave me 90 days suspended. So I could go to rehab, and then I just.
Is the new domestic violence charge been resolved?
No.
When's your next court date?
August 7th.
Thank you. What does that set for?
I'm not sure what time.
Does it pretrial sound right?
Oh, I think it's an arraignment.
Arraignment?
Yeah. I don't think it's pretrial yet.
All right. Okay, keep Ms. Grant up to date on that, please. All right, other questions for this witness? Ms. Spencer, would you like to start?
Just briefly, Austin, in the court report, it stated that the caseworker tried to contact you on 7/15 and 7/16 and hadn't heard back from you.
I have a call log on my phone where I called her back.
Okay.
She didn't answer, and then I never tried to call back again, and I never received a call back, but I did end up seeing her the other day. She came out to the house and saying.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, other than the reason I didn't report the larceny charge is because I heard about it 2 weeks before I even got out of rehab. So it's not like I could just pick up a phone and be like, hey, this happened.
Okay.
But I should have reported it when I got out, but I wasn't thinking about all that.
Okay. Nothing further, thank you.
What's the larceny charge?
It's I stole some money, like $300.
Are you on probation for that?
No.
Oh.
No, I haven't even been in court for that.
Okay, well, then don't talk about it on the record.
Well, I already admitted it to a detective, and they got me on recording, so. They said they could have me out with like a payment plan.
All right, so that one's pending too? Do you know when your next court date is for that?
No, I have no idea. I haven't heard nothing about it.
Okay. Are there any other ones out there?
No, that's it.
Okay, all right.
It's a handful of misdemeanors.
Okay. Mr. McFarland, any questions?
None.
Ms. Berger?
No, you're good, thank you.
Ms. Heist?
Just briefly, Mr. Duby, do you
Yes.
get the court reports before court?
Yes.
Okay, I was reading the one for today and it said that you can't live with your mother because some kids live there. Is that right?
Well, yeah, because the kids go out there, yeah.
Oh,
Like my kids go out there.
These kids go to your mom's, so that's why you can't live there?
Yeah.
They're not placed with her though. They're placed with their own mother, right?
Yeah.
What is your sobriety date?
May 23rd.
Don't we have a drug screen after that? Just looking here.
Yeah, pretty sure
Anyway.
plenty.
I mean, a positive one for, I've got here, when you say a clean screen, do you mean THC is a clean screen?
Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
There's
All
no
right,
method.
Okay, got it. And don't we have a screen? Oh, May 23rd. All right. So May 23rd is your sobriety date. You are employed full-time?
Yes.
And how do you transport? Do you drive yourself?
I use my Lamborghinis. I walk.
Oh, I thought you said Lamborghini and I thought, wait. Would you say that the children's mom, Malachi and Braxton's mom, is mostly in charge of their medical, their daycare decisions and that kind of stuff, or do you participate equally?
She's in charge of all that stuff.
Okay, we're going to have some reports done on your two boys, and I hope you'll take time to read them. Will you look? Okay, and then you know that Malachi is being treated for speech, right?
Yes.
The
He's been
last
in
time
speech-
you, go ahead.
Sorry. I was saying he's been in speech therapy for a long time.
Okay, so you're aware of that. The case where you have a provision where you can have no contact with Miss Double, which case is that? Is it a probation case or a bond?
That is the aggravated assault case, the probation case.
So she has no duty to not contact you, but you have a duty to not contact her, right?
Yes.
So this court report is talking about communication between you two. Is this something we should work on if you need contact for the benefit of the kids?
Absolutely.
Which probation officer is in charge of that? No contact.
Liz Westgate.
Have you been violated for contact with Faith?
Yeah, but they gave me 90 days suspended.
All right. Okay. Nothing further. Thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. We return to your seat. Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
Ms. Grant, Your Honor.
Ms. Grant, come on up.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Good morning, Ms. Grant. Good morning. As it relates to your court report with you've included several attachments, thank you for being thorough. We've heard testimony from the parents, but from your perspective, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to this report?
The one modification I would make is where I had written that Austin was attending Packard Health and his outpatient treatment through New Vision. He did not report to any of that. Did move back to Lenawee County. I did have contact with him last week where I encouraged him to call and get an assessment through CNH or anything like that because his Medicaid is still active, so that way he can get in services here and get a referral to one of the facilities around here to start his outpatient.
Otherwise, everything else remains the same?
Yes.
Okay. And the children are placed with their parents other than Mr. Duby's children who are not having parenting time right now, correct?
Correct.
What is the risk of harm if the court were to release jurisdiction today?
I think at this time, the risk of harm would be that I'd want to continue to provide the support and the follow through for the family. I think that the family is kind of, I should say specifically, Faith and Jeff are kind of doing things on their own, just need a little bit of direction. They've been cooperative, doing everything I've asked them to do. I think it's just really putting that support so that Faith does not continue to have CPS in her life as she has had multiple times for multiple years and just wants to be a mom. And I think at this point we owe her that due diligence to continue that support to put her and Jeff and even Austin here where they need to be.
Part of the conditions that caused the court to take jurisdiction were in part generalized parenting skills, correct?
Correct. I think there was some medical concerns. There was some improper supervision concerns.
Okay. And no parenting classes directed at that have started yet, is that correct?
That's correct. So the family right now is working with IHT for the dynamics of the home. And when it comes with their communications and working with their children specifically in their home.
And so an element of the parenting education is coming through IHT.
Correct.
Okay. And it also seems by the report that there's sort of this wait and see from the trauma assessments and the psychologicals, what more can be offered to the family to ensure that long-term stability. Is that accurate?
Yes, I think so.
I'll rephrase it. So it seems that there's also this, the department's also sort of waiting on the trauma assessments and the psychologicals to see what other services may be needed to ensure the family's long-term stability.
Correct. So there seems to be a lot of discrepancies. So you have Faith and Jeff, who in their home specifically do not believe that there's any.
Can you speak up a little?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
There's a lot of discrepancies. So you have inside the home, when you talk to Faith and Jeff, like they believe they just have normal arguments. When you're looking at outside perspectives, service providers, family, fictive kin, numerous individuals, it seems a little more hostile than that. And then you have the kids where some providers are saying that they have no developmental concerns, but then we have the medical provider who's having multiple concerns for the kiddos. So I think the best direction at this point is to have the psychological, have the CTACs, and kind of base conclusively off of those thorough and complete reports that takes any and everybody into account and really determines what specifically needs to be worked on.
And at this time, your report is asking that Mr. Duby be permitted to attend the trauma assessment for the bonding component with his children. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And is that something that you're still recommending?
I am. I'd like to see his behavior towards his children, his parenting or lack of parenting skills towards his children. I still maintain concern over his drug usage. Even though he is reporting to probation weekly, he is very much aware that it is every Wednesday. They are screening him here at the facility instead of on Colors due to the fact that he did not have the $20 that Colors requires. So he's being tested specifically here. His drug of choice, we are aware that doesn't always stay in system for a long time. And there's been a lot of concerns that he is still using outside of that respective Wednesday testing.
Okay. And when this, I know that there was a custody order that suspended his parenting time prior to our involvement, but this court's orders supersede those. And at this time, is there a recommendation for parenting time to change, or are you still recommending it to be suspended?
I would like to see the bonding reports from there, and based upon what those recommendations are, I would ask that we would have the discretion to offer him supervised parenting with a provider, rather that is Ms. Edwards or therapeutic, based upon whatever the bonding assessment recommendations are.
Is there anything else you'd like to highlight for the court's attention today?
I don't think so.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions, and with that, I would move to admit the court report.
Objection.
No objection.
No objection.
Thank you. The court report as well as the exhibits are received. Cross-examination, Ms. Berger.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. McFarland.
You heard my client would like some instruction as far as prioritization. Can you maybe tell him where he should prioritize and maybe why?
Yep, so right now we're gonna wait for the psychological and the CTACs. The CTACs actually, I believe, start in 2 days. So I think his kiddos go first. So that would be a place for him to start. And then from there, we are gonna do a family team meeting with everybody. The problem is I was on vacation. There was another provider that was on vacation. So it's been hard to get everybody together. I know that me, Faith, and Jeff had one, but I think it would be important to have all of the providers together, and that way they feel like they're on the same page as well. And we're gonna go from there. I am also trying to touch base with the medical provider, as she has also been on vacation, and it's been touch and go with trying to get a hold of her of what has and hasn't been completed for all of the medical concerns that she has to be addressed.
It sounds like the prioritization will occur at that family team meeting. Do I hear you correctly?
Yeah.
Lastly, be possible for you to send to my client and to all counsel a copy of the trauma assessments and my client's psychological as soon as you receive the reports, rather than waiting for the next review.
Yeah, I typically do that. I typically go over them with my clients. I'm not sure if other people do not do that, but I do typically, as soon as I receive them, go over them with my clients.
Nothing further, thank you.
Ms. Spencer?
Yes, just briefly. You stated that you had a family team meeting previously with you and the other two parents, but not Austin. Why was Austin not at that?
I did have one with Austin. It was a few days later. They do have a no contact order, so I was not going to violate that by putting them all together.
Okay, and then I guess what harm or risk of harm is the department specifically concerned about with my client having supervised visits? If those were supervised, I guess what risk of harm is there to be concerned about?
So when the petition was first entered into the court, I guess we should say, the concerns in there were that his parenting time was suspended and that he was still watching the children and exhibiting inappropriate discipline that was causing marks and bruises to them. According to what should have been accurate and then what was happening, he may not have been having contact with his children since back in October, but we know that to be inaccurate, as he admitted that he had seen them since that time. But the kids have not seen him. So I'd like to make sure that there's a bond and there's no adverse reactions to the kiddos when they see Austin for that first time.
Okay, and would you agree that there may actually be an adverse reaction, or it could appear that that bond might not be as strong due to the fact that he hasn't been able to see them?
Sure, and that's something I'd like to address and work forward moving with the bonding assessment.
Okay, so is it accurate then to state the only thing that needs to be done on Austin's end, at least, for him to be able to start that supervised contact is attending that bonding and trauma assessment with his children?
That, and I'd also like to see him follow through on his recommendations from his substance abuse. The recommendations were to finish with, continue with outpatient, follow through those things, and maintain stability in that.
Okay, I have nothing further. Thank you.
Ms. Heist?
No questions, thank you.
I need to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for your testimony. We return to your seat. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, witness testimony today, Mr. McFarland?
Nothing further.
Okay. Spencer?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Ms. Berger?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Heist?
No witnesses today, thank you.
Closing comments?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, it seems that Ms. Double and Mr. Patterson are participating in services as needed and are continuing to be cooperative with the department. And Mr. Duby is at least starting some of those services, as well as completed rehab, seems to be interested in going to CMH for further assessments. As relates to parenting time for Mr. Duby, we are asking the court to continue the suspension of parenting time, just pending the trauma assessments, and then also more demonstrated sobriety and engagement in those services that we tend to see that demonstrate a commitment to sobriety, such as engagement with AA and NA. The order from the custody matter is dated for October 10th of 2023, and that was attached to the original petition. The finding states that father failed to appear for either that hearing or the one prior, demonstrating a lack of interest in both his children and these proceedings. And that is why the court continued to suspend parenting time. Generally, when you look at the risk of harm for parenting time, it's not just physical, but also emotional and mental well-being. I think that the inconsistency poses that psychological harm that we want to prevent at this time. And so just getting dad to a little more stable and consistent with services and participation, seeing the baseline of their attachment and how to move forward, I think will help us develop a plan to progress towards those supervised visits. With that, we would just ask for a standard 90-day review. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Spencer, let's go to you next. Comments?
Yes, we would be requesting that Austin be able to have supervised visits with his children starting as soon as possible, preferably before that trauma assessment actually occurs in August. He has shown that he has been sober for the last 2 months based on his drug tests. He has been in inpatient treatment since then. He testified today that he does wish to see his children as soon as possible. Regarding the prior no contact order that was entered in October that was just discussed, at that point in time, you know, it seems like Austin probably was not sober and was still struggling with the problems that brought this case about. But like I said, since May, he has been sober according to his drug tests. And if the visits were supervised and anything inappropriate even started to occur, they could be immediately ended. So we don't believe there would be any risk of harm with starting those supervised visits prior to the August assessment.
Has your client seen his children despite the no visits? All right, comments, Mr. McFarland?
I think my client's concerns have been addressed through testimony, nothing further.
Ms. Berger?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are asking also for another review period to allow case plan services to be continued and hopefully completed. But I think my client testified fairly well in relation to the updates that she would like to give in relation to the court report and the service plan. So at this time, we are just asking for one more review period and hopefully time to complete these service plans. Thank you.
All right, well, the court finds all interested parties were given notice for today's first regular review hearing. There were definitely a lot of exhibits, and the report was very thorough. So thank you, Ms. Grant, for all your work. I know this is a fast-moving case with obviously 3 different parents and 2 sets of children and lots of concerns. So good work, all of you, in undertaking some of the challenges. Mr. Duby got to rehab. That's good news. Ms. Double's doing her best to maintain things and to stay in communication with everybody. Mr. Patterson, the same, so that's good. That's good progress. I can't wait to see what happens in the next report period. I have received some of the indications that Native American heritage is not applicable in this case with regard to the exhibits that were filed today. So you don't have to worry about that, really, that piece anymore. The children are placed with Jeff Patterson and Faith Double. That is the safest and least restrictive under the circumstances that allows them to benefit from services like in-home therapy, which involves both parents and children in the context of the home. So that's a great program. I look forward to the findings on the psychologicals and additional referrals based on that, as well as the trauma assessments. On the request by Mr. Duby for supervised parenting time, I will ask you, I think the trauma assessments are coming up pretty quickly. So we'll ask you to wait until that is completed. But after that piece, I would expect the department to work in some supervised visits for Mr. Duby based on the recommendations and the structure that hopefully will be something the trauma assessor can speak to. So if you could make sure, Ms. Grant, that you reach out, and when Mr. Duby's turn is up to talk about his bond and all of those things, please let them know that we're looking for a recommendation to transition him into some supervised parenting time. There's, of course, the program with Renee Moore as well, the reintroductory program. But I do think it's important to have him engaged with the CMA services. So that's another piece, Mr. Duby, that we're going to expect you to take up and accomplish in order to make sure that parenting time is safe. Okay. So once those things are in place, we'll trust you to implement some supervised parenting time. Thank you, Ms. Grant. All right. We'll just continue monitoring services and supporting the family in the next report period. I would like to offer to you October 7th at 11 a.m. For our next review. If you can check your calendars, October 7th at 11 a.m.
Good for me.
Good for myself and my client.
It's up in the air, Your Honor, but I can put it on my calendar, and if I'm not available, I'll find coverage.
Thank you. All right.
We're going on our end.
All right. Good afternoon. We are on record for what looks like it's been acted as our 3rd regular review in this file. May I have the names of our participants, please, beginning with our guardian ad litem.
Carson Howitt, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Sasha Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Grant.
Chelsea Grant with the department.
And on behalf of the parents.
Michael McFarland, representing father. Jeffrey.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ariel Berger here on behalf of mother.
Double, sorry, that's okay.
Alexis Stang on behalf of respondent father Austin Duby.
Okay, Mr. Duby, could you give us your name? Thank you, perfect, all right, very good. Today is also a permanency planning hearing, just so everyone's aware. I look forward to your report, Mr. Howitt, whenever you're ready.
Your Honor, I met with the 4 children in my office on December 23rd. Everything seems to be going well with the 4 children. They exhibited extremely normal behavior for their age. Seem to be meeting with normal developmental benchmarks. We would recommend that we close this case as regards to faith Duby.
Okay, did you talk to the kids about their preferences?
Yes, they all are, well, with as respects to JJ, who's the oldest child, he prefers to, stay with his mother, and then the rest of the children are younger and seem to be doing well in their current placement with their mother. We did not.
Could you speak up just a little?
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a fan.
Closer to you.
Yeah, yep, it's the bigger piece.
Yeah. Yes, we at the meeting we did speak with JJ and the 3 other children, Aurora, Malachi, and Braxton, and all, especially JJ, who's a bit older and can make a better determination of what's best for him. He did explain to me that he would prefer to be with his mother. The 3 younger children, we did not talk as much about what would be in their best wishes. I do believe it is in their best interest to remain with their mother.
Thank you. Testimony today, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. I will call Ms. Grant to provide her report.
The witness stand.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Grant, you are the ongoing caseworker in this matter, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you provided a court report for today's hearing?
That is correct.
And are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to it?
The only update I would make is that I did receive a call from Austin this morning stating that he was in Harbor Light. I have not had a chance to verify that to be accurate. I see he is here on Zoom. I did make contact with his probation officer also this morning, who stated that he has also tried to contact Harbor Light to verify he was actually there, but that has not taken place as that was just this morning.
Thank you. And during this review period, it seems that Ms. Double and Mr. Patterson have been very compliant with their case service plan and have benefited from those services. Do you have any concerns about the children's safety or well-being in their care at this time?
I do not. Faith and Jeff have, followed through on things during this reporting period. They definitely have exhibited some behaviors that we would want to see from parents, especially with regards to, for example, an assessment was completed for MD where he needed, he had failed his eye exam, needed glasses. Mom was very proactive without needing to ask her or follow up with her. She got him an appointment, got him in, got him assessed, and was able to meet those needs without the additional reminders and additional reminders and encouragement and push to get those things met and done for the children. And that's just one example.
And at this time, one of the things from the last hearing that really needed to be monitored, it seems like, was the progress in IHT. I know that you've included a report, a closing summary from the IHT therapist. Can you just briefly elaborate on how the family benefited from that service during this past review period?
Sure. So during this past reporting period, Once IHT wrapped up, Faith and the oldest child, Jay, continued to be involved with the IHT therapist individually. So much so that this child and his therapist have such a strong bond that this practitioner will be leaving the facility that he's at now. And both mom and this child will be following him to the new facility that he'll be at. Additionally, the behaviors in the home have decreased where the oldest child has made substantial progress enough that he's been discharged from community mental health services, and they have transferred things to his pediatrician in the meantime. Due to his past behaviors and things she's not comfortable monitoring long-term. However, the appropriate steps are already being made to transfer his medication to also be included at ACPC along with his counseling services.
Wonderful. And one of the concerns was whether the parents would continue to participate, engage, and benefit in services if there was no more oversight. Do you have that concern at this point in time?
I think that they are pretty involved. I think Faith and Jeff also recognize what would be at risk if that were to fall through. JJ has made substantial progress, both even at school and at home. Malachi also continues to have like the support. Mom is very engaging when it comes to that. So I think that at this point, mom would continue to engage in her own therapy and services moving forward.
And one of, I mean, I know that we're talking a lot about Mr. Patterson and Ms. Stubble. The report as relates to Mr. Duby is sort of limited because he was incarcerated and then in rehab centers of treatment. At this time, do you still recommend case closure for the entire family?
At this point, I think that if we were to continue with Mr. Duby's progress, he had been discharged from, I believe it was Don Farms. Sorry, mind blinking for a second here, apologize. Due to his own behavior. His inability to be mature, have conversations with people, he had to be put on an accountability plan. Being back in Harbor Light, I would assume he would be back at square one, having to make progress. And when we look at his overall case service plan, he hasn't made much of any substantial progress. In having a conversation with his therapist at Don Farms, he also stated that he would be concerned regarding Austin's ability to be unsupervised with his children due to his impulsive nature. So if the friend of the court were to be changed where he would not have any parenting at all until he would be able to demonstrate his sobriety and stability, I think that would be sufficient, as long as Faith and Jeff also understand that he cannot be around the children until he is stable himself.
I believe your report indicates, and I'm just trying, in my records, I'm also trying to find this, that Mr. Duby's parenting time was suspended back in October of 23.
Correct. So the original friend of the court, it was suspended through the friend of the court. Yes.
Okay. And so at this point in time, if the court were to release jurisdiction, his parenting time would remain suspended. Is that the best of your understanding based on the information you have?
If it would default to the old friend of the court, yes, I do believe so.
Okay. Historically, there's been some concern about whether Ms. Stubble and Mr. Duby can, in fact, not contact one another. Do you still have that concern?
I think both within the last couple of weeks have stated that they don't want to continue to have contact with each other. I believe through the friend of the court, there would have to be some kind of third party or the parenting app put in place where it's strictly about the children, rather that be the app close or My Family Wizard for the only contact between the two of them. I think that would be an ongoing concern in general. As they both do go back and forth quite often, even with a no contact in place with, through his probation.
But given the, I guess, safeguards in place, such as the no contact through probation, the custody order that currently suspends his parenting time, which is also reflective in the trauma assessment, do you believe that it is sufficient and safe enough for this court to release its jurisdiction over this family?
I do. I think as long as both parents are following that, I do think it is sufficient enough at this time.
Okay. And are there any other updates from your court report that you would like to highlight?
I don't think so.
Thank you. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Grant and move to admit the court report and its attachments.
No objections.
No objection.
No objections.
Very well, thank you. They are admitted. Questions for this witness, Ms. Stang?
Yes, just briefly. Were you actually able to talk to Mr. Duby's therapist, or did you receive that information through another party?
No, I specifically talked to him at the treatment center, both when I scheduled my visit and when I saw him in person.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Questions, Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Howitt, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. May you return to your seat. Anyone else you'd like us to hear from, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Stang, any witnesses today?
No, thank you.
Ms. Berger?
Ms. Duby, would you like to testify today?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. No, Your Honor.
Double.
It is double.
It's double, right? Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something.
I thought she said double.
Okay, thank you. All right, we've got it straightened out. Mr. McFarland?
My client does not wish to testify.
All right, any witness testimony today, Mr. Howitt?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. I look forward to your closing remarks, beginning with Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that there are sufficient safeguards at this point in time for this family moving forward. As it relates to any parenting time for Mr. Duby, they do have access to from the court or this court to modify that parenting time if the time ever comes and this court sees fit. The family is apprised of the findings and the trauma assessments. And I don't believe that there are any other services at this time that this family could benefit from through the protective proceeding. So we are asking the court to release its jurisdiction and not schedule anything else. Thank you.
Any comments, Ms. Stang?
Yes, just that we're in support of case closure and allowing Mr. Duby to continue to work on himself. And when he's ready and gets to the point where he's able, he can petition to the front of the court to modify his parenting time.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Berger?
Thank you, Your Honor. We too are in support of case closure. It's refreshing to see such a positive court report again here, and that the agency has been able to successfully help this family and close this case. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
I'm going to say ditto. I don't think I can say anything better.
Okay, Mr. Howitt?
No, Your Honor, we echo whatever all the other interested parties have said so far.
Thank you. Well, the court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's review and permanency planning hearing. It is unanimous. All of our attorneys and service providers and experts are aligned in finding that it's time to recognize a pattern of success that has characterized at least this last report period. I can see that as well in the certificates of education and many of the remarks, Ms. Double, that you wanted passed along to me made it into the court report as well. So congratulations to both of you for the progress that you've made. Best of luck continuing and moving forward. It is the order of the court that the children are released from the jurisdiction of the court in this case file to parents Jeffrey Patterson and Faith Double and Mr. Duby, of course, subject to the friend of the court orders from this point moving forward. So So you won't have to answer to me, but whatever the friend of the court has in place for you will govern moving forward.
All right.
Unless there's any questions, that's all for today. All right, we are scheduled for the initial petition for Mr. Austin Duby today. Pretrial on Mr. Patterson and Ms. Double. We have the names of our participants, please.
Carson Howard, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Sasha
Emily
Thomas, counsel for the department.
Emily Slaney with the department.
Alexis Stang on behalf of Respondent Father Austin Duby.
Austin Duby, father.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Shealy on behalf of Jeffrey Patterson Sr.
Okay, I couldn't understand what you said there. Your name again, please?
David Shealy,
And how you spell it?
Shelle.
And then are you an attorney?
I am.
Great. And you said you're here on behalf of who?
I am.
Who are you here on behalf of?
Jeffrey Patterson Sr.
Thank you. Did you say Shelle?
That's right, Your Honor.
Oh, David. Okay. And your P number, please.
87619.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If we could have you just for future reference, put your name in under where you're appearing from. And we generally use the video if we are able to. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. As it relates to Ms. Double, we'd be looking for Ms. Ariel Berger and Faith Double.
Your Honor, I was just gonna say, Your Honor, my notes, I'm so sorry, I don't have the order pulled up, but my notes indicate that today was just for Mr. Duby, and then we were having a pretrial for the other parents on November 13th at 1. So that might be why they're not here.
That was my understanding as well.
Okay, let me make sure the order reflected that as well. Well, we can certainly proceed with the disposition.
Your Honor, is Atlas in the courtroom?
Atlas who?
Demak, she would be, or they would be our foster care worker.
Oh, great. Okay. Is that who you would like to call? We typically would start with our LGAL.
I just wanted to get their name on the record for appearances.
Oh, very good. Yes. Who's our caseworker? Your name, please?
Atlas Dimick.
And will you spell that, please?
ATLAS DIMOCK.
DIMOCK. And
Yes.
Are you from an agency or department proper?
Agency.
Which agency?
Hands Across the Water.
Thank you. Okay. Any other parties for introductions before we start? Okay. Here's my prelim order.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Could you repeat that, please?
Okay, Mr. Shealy, I just asked if there was anybody else that needed to be introduced before we got started.
Okay, my apologies.
That's okay. And I do have that there's a pretrial scheduled for your client. The other attorneys are correct. So that is, the pretrial for your client is actually 11/13 at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge. I was hoping to just make a simple request of Your Honor.
Hey, you're breaking up.
It's not appropriate today. Yeah, I was just hoping to address a particular discovery issue with you, with Your Honor, in the interim today. If that's not appropriate today, and I don't need to be at this hearing, I will happily just dismiss myself.
Hey, well, I would encourage you to reach out to your co-counsel on potentially discovering issues prior to the pretrial. Is it possible for you to reposition your camera so that we can see you rather than your advisor?
I apologize, Your Honor. I am not dressed for the occasion, but I'd be happy to put my camera on if you like.
Your camera is on, Mr. Shealy. We're looking at your visor.
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. It was not supposed to be on. Yeah, let me get it.
Well, we don't need to see your whole outfit, Mr. Shealy, but your face would be great.
Okay, let me stop my video.
I would
If I can
prefer that
figure
you,
out
I
how to-
prefer that you left it on.
I'm sorry.
Do you have the volume up on your device all the way?
I do.
Okay. Mr. Shealy, I'll just encourage you to reach out to co-counsel before the pretrial. And it seems like with your technology issues, you may want to consider being here in person at the next hearing.
Okay, Your Honor. Would you like me to remain in this hearing?
There's no need. You may if you wish, but there's no need to because it's just the schedule for Mr. Duby today.
Okay, great. I'm sorry if I wasted any of all y'all's time today.
It's not a problem. All right.
Have a
Thank you,
great
Mr.
day.
Shealy. We'll see you in November.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. Let's go to our guardian ad litem.
Yes, Your Honor. I was able to meet with the two middle children. The two other kids who are involved with the case were present as well, but obviously we're focused on the two middle today. On October 8th, 2025 on Zoom. They were really smiley and happy kids during my brief visit with them. I've met them previously, but it's been almost a year. So it was good to see them again and just see them in their new environment, being happy. They've made some significant progress in being placed with their maternal aunt. Their aunts and their teachers are reaching out, their daycare is confirmed with me just a lot of positives since they were taken into this new placement with their aunt. There were a lot of setbacks as well, and for a brief period during visitation with their parents, there was just a lot going on. The kids were asked to do 4 visits a week, 2 with dad, 2 with mom, and it just was a lot for them, and they were seeing a lot of behavior concerns like overall aggression and just defiance from the daycare providers placement. And so the team came together and just kind of decided that therapeutic visitation would best serve the kids, and that's why you received that ex parte order, petition and order. And we're hoping to get that set up as soon as possible. And I think that 2 of the 3 parents have already completed their intake or are completing their intake today. And that'll be with Miss Brene Moore, who has a lot of experience, and we're excited for that setup for those kids. In this placement, there was already 3 cousins there, so there's adding, these 2 kids and then their 2 siblings. There's been a lot going on with this home, but this placement, I can't, say enough good things about how they've done with just getting these kids into a routine and providing a structure. And I believe it's why we're seeing so many positives in their behavior when, the visitation was stopped. So I think we'll just continue to monitor at the therapeutic level how visitation is going, and if we need to increase and move to unsupervised, or we'll see how that goes, and we'll be in consultation with Ms. Brene Moore about that moving forward. But for now, I'm really excited for these kids to have this stability and structure moving forward, and just seeing what other types of progress can be made with them. Neither child expressed their wishes due to their age. Thank you.
Ms. Thomas, testimony today.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. If Ms. Atlas Dimmitt could be supported, please.
All right, come on up to our witness stand. Ms. Thomas, while she's making her way up here, could you let me know? I don't have any proposed case services plan or any kind of court report for today. Could you tell me if one was sent in?
Your Honor, in my file, I have that the court report was sent in on, so sorry, pulling that up. It was sent to the juvenile court email address on 10/10, and then a case service plan was sent in yesterday.
Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Deputy Ames, could you check across the hall? We're looking for the court report that came in 10/10 and the case service plan that came in 10/14 on that file.
Got it.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Thomas, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay. Atlas, you've provided a court report for today's hearing, and then separately, you've also provided it's not a signed case service plan, but it indicates that you reviewed it with Mr. Duby on the phone. Other than those two documents, have you sent in or circulated any other forms, documents, reports to the court or other attorneys?
No.
Okay. And as it relates to your court report, are there any updates or modifications that you're aware of that need to be made?
No.
And currently, what would be the goal for Mr. Duby and his children, the permanency goal?
Currently, the permanency goal will be reunification.
Okay. What are the current barriers to reunification for these specific children and Mr. Duby?
Currently, the barriers to reunification are what was addressed within the petition, the substance abuse, domestic violence, as those, there has not been any court-ordered services, so those barriers have not been officially rectified.
Thank you for that. And has Mr. Duby completed or started any services on a voluntary basis that you're aware of?
He did talk to me about starting counseling, but I do not know if he has for sure started that yet.
Okay. And have you submitted any referrals at this time?
I've only submitted referrals for the trauma assessments and therapeutic visitation.
As it relates to parenting time, there was, it was supervised, and I think it's currently pending getting the therapeutic parenting time in place. Where does that stand as of today?
Austin is set to do his intake with the therapeutic visitation tomorrow.
And then what would be the expected schedule for the therapeutic parenting time? Would it be like one time a week for 1 hour or something different?
Currently, it is about once a week for 1 hour. Yes.
Okay. Is there anything I know you've done a lot of work with this family already, but as it relates to Mr. Duby, is there anything else that you would like the court to know, how things are going, or how his children are doing in care?
Yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and highlight that the parenting times that have occurred with Mr. Duby have gone actually very well. He has home cooked meals, appropriate activities, and both kids are very excited to see their dad.
Wonderful. And I don't know if I can't recall if this is in your report or not, but the trauma assessments have been scheduled, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there is the referral for the bonding component as part of those assessments, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I know that at some point there might have been some concern about just transportation for the children to their assessments. Has that been addressed with the family?
Yes.
Okay. And trying to think of anything else. Is there anything that you service related that you believe needs to be done right away, like priority wise for Mr. Duby?
I know that he did express wanting drug screenings as part of the treatment plan to prove his sobriety.
And have you been able to develop a plan to assist him with that goal?
Yes.
All right. And is there anything else you'd like to report to the court today?
I think that covers it.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions and ask the court to admit the court report and enter the proposed case service plan as part of the order today. Thank you.
Objection?
No, Your Honor.
No objections.
All right, thank you. They have received questions for this witness, Ms. Stang.
Yes, thank you. Were you able to view Mr. Duby's housing then when those supervised visits did occur?
Yes,
Okay, and was the housing appropriate?
yes.
Okay, so are there any concerns then at this point in time for you regarding any of his housing or his ability to maintain that housing?
Not currently.
Okay, have you had any discussions with Mr. Duby regarding his employment?
Briefly.
Okay, can you just tell us a little bit about what that conversation entailed?
Yeah, I know that he works at Domino's as a delivery driver.
Okay, is that something that you requested any additional information or income information from Mr. Duby regarding?
No.
Okay, is that something that you'll be requiring moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. And then have any drug tests actually been administered yet per Mr. Duby's request?
No.
Okay. What exactly is the plan that you testified to coming up with him for those tests?
Once they're court ordered, we will be able to administer them.
Okay, so you just need a court order to be able to start that?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any specific areas at this point in time, I know it's early on, that you believe Mr. Duby should focus on the most?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, so I know it's very early on, but are there any areas within his case service plan that you believe he should primarily focus on or that you think will take him the longest to ensure he's in compliance with?
I think individual counseling should be the focus.
Okay, and I know he's, it sounds like has an assessment for the therapeutic parenting time, but have any referrals been put in for that individual counseling?
Not at this time.
Okay, is that something that you plan on doing moving forward?
Yes.
Okay, I have nothing further. Thank you.
Any questions?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seat? Okay, the court has received, I'll say for the record, the court report as well as the case services plan from our clerk's office. So I do have that, and that is officially part of our file, and obviously it's been received. Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Witness testimony today, Ms. Stang?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. We would just ask the court to enter in the initial disposition order with that case service plan as part of the order so that Mr. Duby can start the services that are outlined in there and that the agency would have the authority to make those referrals and pay for the services. It's wonderful to know that the children were excited to see him in parenting time, and I'm hopeful that parenting time can be reinstated sooner. I don't think that the issues with parenting time were necessarily a reflection of Mr. Duby, but rather just a situation as a whole. And so I'm hopeful we'll get more information from trauma assessments and the bonding assessments. And with that, we would just ask the court to set this matter for another 90-day review. Thank you.
Ms. Stang?
We have no objections to the department's request. It appears that Mr. Duby is on track and doing really well even before the disposition even occurred. It sounds like his housing seems to be appropriate at this point in time based on the testimony. He is employed and he is eager to have the drug testing performed to show that he is in compliance with remaining sober. So we have no objections to the request and request the same. Thank you.
Mr. Howard?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't think I said this earlier, but I do think it is in the children's best interest to remain in this placement and move forward with the therapeutic visitation. And then, from me looking at this case right now, I think, as Ms. Thomas put it, the move to therapeutic visitation was more on the reaction from the kids, not necessarily what was going on at the visitation. just making sure that, they were in a good situation to, complete other activities like daycare, school, and being, functional at home. So my primary focus for Mr. Duby would be just engaging with the therapeutic visitation workers with Ms. Renee Moore, and just, learning and doing as much as possible during those sessions to try and help shift back to a more supervised setting, and hopefully even less supervised down the line. Thank you.
The court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's initial disposition. The case services plan does appear to be appropriate and will become part of the court's order moving forward to measure the progress made by Mr. Austin Duby and the areas identified as a risk to his children. Services have not yet begun, although it sounds like Mr. Duby has begun some of his work on sobriety and has a couple of areas that he has stabilized in, which is great to see. The children do remain at significant risk of harm if returned to his care. And the therapeutic training time also appears to be appropriate at this point. Once we have more recommendations from Ms. Renee Moore, I would expect our caseworker to just follow her recommendations. And I'll put that in the court order so that if there is a recommendation, for example, that Mr. Duby expand past therapeutic or additional visits, I'd like you to go ahead and follow those recommendations, if any, made by Ms. Moore. Okay. In the meantime, the children will remain in their placement. That is the safest and least restrictive under the circumstances. Our caseworkers are in compliance with their obligations, as is Mr. Howitt. And thank you to our attorneys as well. I'd like to offer you a review in January of the progress on the case by Mr. Duby on the afternoon of January 13th at 2:30. January 13th at 2:30 will be our first regular review, unless I hear that anybody's not available.
That works for me, Your Honor. Thank you.
That works for me as well.
No issues. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, so unless there's any other questions, that's all for today. We'll see you January 13th. We are on record for a final pretrial regarding the request for trial filed by Faith Double and Jeffrey Patterson, the parents in this case. We have had a brief sidebar as well. So I look forward to any comments that any of the attorneys would like to make about the sidebar before we get started. But let's do introductions, please.
Carson Howitt, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Sasha Thomas, counsel for the department. Present with me is co-counsel, Mr. William Amadeo. I'm sorry.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. William Amadeo, P76194, co-counsel on this.
And Your Honor, we have present the CPS investigator, Emily Salinas, in the courtroom, and then seated to my left, our foster care worker, Atlas Dimmick.
Good afternoon.
Okay, hang on. We're gonna need you to spell that, please.
ATLASDIMOCK. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Errol Berger on behalf of Mother Faith Double.
David Shealy, P87619 on
Mr.
behalf
Shealy, hang on a
of
moment.
Mr. Patterson.
One moment. Mr. Shealy, I need you to wait, please, because everyone needs to introduce themselves and then either introduce or ask their clients to introduce themselves. So Ms. Berger's client needs to introduce herself before you go.
Understood.
Faith Double, Mother.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Shealy, whenever you're ready.
David Shealy, P87619 on behalf of Mr. Patterson Senior, who is present in the
Yes.
courtroom. I am asking for a breakout room with my client, please.
Well, Mr. Patterson is here in person. You were requested to be here in person as well, Mr. Shealy. I did try to address that with you in the sidebar, and I was also there in the sidebar when co-counsel asked you if you'd like to call him before we got started, and you said no to that request. At this point, I would not be inclined to grant a request to delay matters any further. We're already starting delayed, and I've got some other hearings this afternoon. So are there any other comments while we're on you about the sidebar before we go to other attorneys for their comments?
Yes. So I have a specific reason that I need to speak with my client now, and a specific reason that I did not ask to contact him before. It is a professional ethics reason. And so I'm just, again, respectfully requesting for some time to speak with my client before this. We have not had an opportunity to discuss anything that is before the court today.
Any other comments on the sidebar, Mr. Shealy?
Well, just to make sure, I think you asked me to figure out how to file
pleadings. Can you please tell me exactly how you would like me to amend my motion?
Well, Mr. Shealy, your pleadings are rejected because you've indicated that you would like them to be considered in the matter of Jeffrey Patterson Senior. Your client is subject to the jurisdiction of the court as a respondent parent. While he's awaiting adjudication on this, potentially, but the matter is actually concerning the children, not your client himself, which is
Okay, so it's not
why
a sub.
the proceedings were rejected.
Okay, so it's not a substantive issue.
Unless you would like me to consider your client as part of our proceedings instead of his children, then I would say that it is rather substantive.
Okay.
Okay, comments on the sidebar, Mr. Howard?
No further comments, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had actually requested the sidebar to ensure that, one, I had filed a motion, myself and Mr. Amadeo had filed a motion for an extension to provide mandatory discovery. And then we were also asking for an adjournment of the jury trial as related to Mr. Patterson. And I wanted to ensure that that was properly filed. This court confirmed that the file does include that motion. And then I wanted an opportunity to discuss with fellow counsel the issues that I'm running into as far as it relates to that discovery. And if there was an agreeable way for us to resolve that matter, I think at this point in time, I'll be submitting a judicial or a subpoena, asking the court to make it a judicial subpoena to order the department to release unredacted investigation reports that are noted in the petition. Additionally, we had revisited the idea, trying to confirm with Mr. Shealy whether his client had continues to want a jury trial or if he would be interested in a potential plea. Because at this point, we really are just hoping that the parents can get into some services and get reunified as soon as possible. So we just wanted to reiterate that point in the sidebar. And then otherwise, I think that Mr. Shealy just wanted all of this on the record. And so we honored that request and we are obviously on the record now. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Berger, any comments on the sidebar before we get started on everything else?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was able to just briefly discuss that with my client regarding the discovery, and she at this time is not going to object to these documents under the judicial subpoena. So I think that at least would help us move forward in regards to that. But at this time, Your Honor, we don't take a position as it relates to Mr. Patterson's jury trial. My client was requesting a bench trial, so whenever that falls in with the schedule, that would be appropriate with us. But other than that, I have nothing to add.
All right, right now it looks like the jury trial is scheduled for November 26th. Your client is requesting a bench trial.
Did you do the written request for? No, I didn't know I had to do a written request. We didn't do the written request, Your Honor. I think Mr. Patterson did, or maybe his attorney did previously. If it's docketed that way, then we would not object to having them both together.
Yeah. It's really up to you. It's already docketed as a jury trial, so if you'd like to proceed on the jury trial for your client on that day, then I can leave it on the docket.
We will, Your Honor. If it has to be moved to do them both at the same time, we would not object to that as well.
Well, obviously your client has a right to have a trial within a certain time frame. So, but if you believe you're prepared with the discovery that you have on hand, then we can proceed on hers and we don't have to ask her to waive that. It's up to you.
I think because the petition is so heavy with previous allegations, we would need those reports as well.
Okay. All right. And she is prepared to waive that timeframe then, and I'll let you know that we'll schedule it as soon as we can. Do you need another minute to talk that over? Do you want to just confirm that she wants to waive that initial time frame?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yes, we will waive the initial time frame.
Okay. All right. So your position as it relates to the motion, let's go to Mr. Howard. The motion to adjourn the jury trial.
Sure, I think I would be in support of the motion to adjourn the jury trial.
Okay. All right. Your position, Mr. Shealy, on the request to adjourn the jury trial.
I would need to speak with my client first, Your Honor.
Well, the motion's been outstanding and filed. Is there a reason you haven't spoken to him about it before today?
Yes, I have lost contact with him completely.
Okay. Do you have a phone number for him or any contact information?
I've had multiple phone numbers. I'd prefer not to really go into the details. I'd potentially prejudicial to my client.
Very well. All right. Well, I do need to make a ruling on the motion to adjourn the jury trial, and I do need your formal position. So I will give you a few minutes recess to do that. I will warn you, I have hearings starting at 2 o'clock and 2:30, so that may delay this until and unless those hearings are completed, but we'll do our best to accommodate everybody this afternoon, understanding that you may need to be waiting a bit for the matters that were scheduled. So,
Your Honor, is there any?
Hang on a minute, Mr. Sheehan. We're gonna go off. We're back with all of our same participants, parties and attorneys, to talk about the contents of the rest of the pretrial and any other pretrial review issues that need to be addressed. Mr. Shealy, have you had a chance to talk to your client about his position as it relates to the request to adjourn the jury trial?
Yes, no position, Your Honor.
Okay, your client has the option to oppose the adjournment or to waive his right to have it within the statutory time frame in order to allow for the discovery process to take place. No position really doesn't give me an answer to whether or not he has an objection to moving it out, or if he'd like to waive his right to have it within I think it's like 63 days at the most from the date of removal.
Okay, can we just leave it in the court's discretion?
Okay. Any other comments about the request for adjournment? Ms. Berger, I know you were kind of talking somewhere with your client about her position as well.
We were, Your Honor, at this time, we would like to schedule the jury trial. And we would waive the statutory timeline and to allow for us to get some discovery.
Any amendments to your position from the department?
Are we going to consolidate the trials?
Well, so part of the things that we did talk about, I should say this too, in the jury room on that particular question is whether or not to consolidate them. I think for now, I am going to grant the request to adjourn unless Mr. Howitt, your position's changed.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to grant the request for adjournment in order to allow for that discovery to be exchanged. I'm going to set a date to have a consolidated jury trial. But as I have advised the other attorneys, and I'm now advising Mr. Shealy, when you get your discovery back, if it's very clear that you have different sets of facts and circumstances, I would rather have 2 jury trials. I don't want a jury confused by which issues are her or whose, for example. But if the facts and circumstances are identical, then certainly we don't want to waste everyone's time by coming back twice. So for now, we're going to schedule it as consolidated because that appears to be what is appropriate. And if something changes, then we'll address it again at another pretrial before jury trial. Let's look at some dates. Ms. Thomas, did you want to talk about the issues of discovery or articulate anything else on that point to give us a time frame?
Your Honor, as I had shared in our sidebar, I don't have the liberty of accessing DHS records at my free will. I have to go through the proper channels requesting those. The issue that we will have is the redaction through Lansing. My request would go through the redaction unit, which would take about 3 months or so, especially given the number of reports that are being requested. However, if we had a judicial subpoena, we would be able to get unredacted documents within the next couple of weeks, is my understanding. And so I believe that all the other attorneys are agreeable to their client's information or of this process, with the exception of Ms. Stang, who would like her client's information to be redacted. And I believe that we can achieve that through, I have a proposed judicial subpoena with me, or I can submit a drafted order from the court, whatever the court's preference is.
It's up to you. I'm happy to sign it. Did you have anything to add or any argument on that, Mr. Shealy?
No.
Any additional comments, Ms. Stang?
I'm satisfied with whatever is done. I'm confident that the attorneys can work together to accomplish the redacting without having to burden the court with that.
Any other comments, Ms. Berger?
No, never, thank you.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. All right, very well. I'll look forward to signing that subpoena to get your discovery underway. As it relates to the time frame for that, it looks like we could maybe look at January then or February for trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So the docket allows for February 6th. I will tell you, I'm planning on taking some time off during that particular month, potentially starting with that week. So you may be in front of Judge Costello for purposes of your adjudication jury trial. If we try to get it in January, it maybe put you as a backup to a juvenile jury trial, January 16th. It's crazy. That looks like the only potential one-day jury trial date that I have in January. Otherwise, we're into February. Any preferences?
I can make the 16th work if that works for everyone.
The 16th would work for me. I'm not available in the morning of February 6th.
All right, Mr. Shealy, any reason you wouldn't be able to join us for jury trial on January 16th, 2026?
No.
All right, we're gonna start that then at 8:30 in the morning. And plan on being here obviously all day for that. And if we need to go into next week, then so be it. We'll just have to move things as necessary, but we'll plan on one day for now, unless any of our attorneys think that we need more than one day.
I would request 2, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
That was what was originally scheduled for, was 2 days.
my client will enter a plea.
Oh.
She'd be willing to do.
I'm not gonna go that long without my kids.
She'd be willing to do a no contest plea today if we can fit that in our docket, and then hopefully we would be able to, the rest of the attorneys will be able to finish the trial on the day. That might.
And Judge, could I just add something real quick? If we don't go to a jury trial, the department is not trying to terminate. We could enter a plea today for Mr. Shelley's client as well, and it would get these kids back to their family quicker. I do think there's no way we get a jury trial in before January, and maybe past that, Judge, depending on discovery, how it comes back. I think it's in the family's best interest to reunite and get in the service. I'll defer to brother counsel, but we could avoid the jury trial, just get this family back together if we could enter a no contest plea.
Well, that'll be up to Mr. Shealy, but for now, I'll schedule that. I'm gonna schedule another pretrial, and then if we'll address the issue of the plea in a moment. But we'll be back here a couple times before that January date. So Mr. Shealy will have some time to talk with his client about that option. If he wants to do that, and if his position changes, then we'll address it at that time. I'm flexible on that. But for now, we're gonna set the jury trial for Mr. Patterson to commence at 8:30 on Friday, January 16th, 2026. Any objections to, well, the no contest plea would be for what particular reason?
I have to pull the petition up.
Thanks. I'll give you a minute to do that. In the meantime, if I decide to accept her plea and there's no objections, we could do disposition and a pretrial in Mr. Patterson's case for Monday, December 1st at 3 o'clock. I'd like the attorneys to check their calendars if you could.
When was that, Your Honor?
December 1st at 3.
Clerk's joint.
Okay, here.
Thank you. Your Honor, did you say that that was being set with my client's review? Is your client scheduled for December 1st?
No, I think I said Duby though. I just wanted to clarify because I have it for January 13th.
All right, yes, you're fine. I think I have a paper copy of the petition, Ms. Berger, if that would help.
Yes.
Okay. Deputy Ames, would you mind passing this down?
A lot of stuff going back and forth in this case.
I understand. Thank you. Deputy Ames, on the last case I have, I could ask you to take care of that one for me. It's ready.
Ready for,
Yes. Yep.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I believe, partially, in fact, partially due to the fact of the passage of time with a lot of the allegations and her, my client's prior CPS history, a lot of that goes back as far as 2017, in addition to potential civil liability.
Civil liability and, sorry, I didn't catch the other reason.
The passage of time. There's a lot of these allegations date back as far as 2017.
Objections to the no contest nature of the plea?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Mr. Shealy, any position?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Sang, any position?
No position, thank you.
Very good.
May I
Okay.
approach Anya?
Why don't you hang on to that for a minute,
Sure, thank you.
in case we can come back to it. Okay, all right then. Well, the court will accept that for purposes of looking at the plea. All right, Ms. Faith Double, if you could please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, so a no contest plea essentially means that the court's going to look at the petition contents and consider those as accurate. Do you understand that? You don't have to come out and say it, which is why it's called a no contest plea, but for purposes of, for example, reunification services, those are the facts and circumstances that the court will consider for that, which is why I would consider them as accurate, because that's what I would ask the department to base their plan on and to work with you on. Does that make sense?
Does, but
And it's up to you. If you don't want to enter that plea in under that context, then
Just none of that stuff on there about me is true, but I'm entering it in for my kids, not for me.
Do you, okay, it's Ms. Berger.
Sure. Faith, do you understand that by entering a no contest plea, the court then looks at those allegations in the petition? And that the court reviews those to help formulate a service agreement? And that although you may not agree with all of the allegations in that petition, that's what the court then has to look at to formulate the things that they want you to work on, so you can have reunification with your children.
There are some other potential consequences, or I'm sorry, there are some other rights that you're waiving and some other consequences. So as you think through that, I'd like you to listen to the rest of the advice of rights as well. And then you can tell me at any point in time if you decide you have changed your mind. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, if you enter a no contest plea, you are giving up your right to a trial by judge or a trial by jury. The right to have the petitioner prove the allegations in the petition by a preponderance of the evidence. The right to have witnesses against you appear and testify under oath at trial. right to cross-examine witnesses, and the right to have the court subpoena any witnesses that you believe could give testimony in your favor. So you're saying you'd be giving up or waiving those trial rights if you enter a no contest plea. With regard to the consequences of your plea, which is part of what I would like you to listen to carefully, the court will do the following. There will be continued investigation by the caseworker to see what the problems are in your family and how and whether they can be solved. The court could dismiss the case if there's no need for the court to be involved. If it appears that there's a problem that may be solved, the court can make the children temporary wards of the court, place with mother or father or with relatives or in a foster home, and order programs for you and your children, such as counseling, drug and alcohol treatment assessments, and parenting classes, which is what we're talking about when we're talking about case services. If it appears that you will not be able to provide a proper home for the children in a reasonably foreseeable future, the court could terminate your Brown rights. With regard to the plea itself, specifically even your no contest plea, the plea can also later be used as evidence in a proceeding to terminate your parental rights. Those are the consequences of your plea, Ms. Double, should you choose to enter it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So understanding that I'll be looking at the contents of the petition is accurate and that can later be used in a proceeding to terminate your parental rights if you're unable to accomplish your reunification services and plans, do you wish to enter the plea?
You,
No, I understand what she's saying.
That's why I wanted to make sure you understand fully what you're getting into if you decide to enter your no contest plea. Here's hoping, right, that you accomplish reunification. But if you don't, you need to understand that I'll be looking at this petition as well as everything else that happens during the duration of your case services plan, if I have to. So if you don't want to enter a plea, I understand. If you want to think about it for a few minutes, I know there's some other pretrial issues also. All right, Ms. Double, have you made a decision? Jury trial or no contest plea? What's your preference?
Yes, I'm just gonna do jury trial.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. We've got the 16th set up for that.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm not available that day.
All right, well, let's do a couple dates then.
Yeah.
Let's go to February 6th.
Yeah, that was the day that Mr. Howard was not
Oh,
available.
right. Sorry, thank you. 13th?
Yes, I'm on February 13th.
February 13th, 8:30 in the morning then, for purposes of jury trial for Ms. Faith Double.
So there's two separate dates?
As of today, there will be two separate dates.
Judge, I have a couple things I think I can move. I'll take that date now, but if anything comes up, I'll let you know well in advance, but I think I'll be able to make that work.
Very good. Thank you so much. All right. Would everyone still like to have a pretrial as early as December 1st, or would you like me to look at a time closer to our scheduled jury trials for pretrial? For example, I could go out to January 5th, Monday afternoon, January 6th in the afternoon.
Your Honor, I think holding the December 1st pretrial date would be good, just to make sure we're making headway on any discovery issues. And if there's any other issues that come up, at least we have some time on the docket. But I would anticipate a second pretrial as well.
Would you like to set that now so you don't run out
Sure.
of options? Okay, so we'll do a pretrial on December 1st, 2025 at 3:00 p.m. And how about, you want to go the first Monday in January or the first Tuesday in January in the afternoon? Any preferences?
First Tuesday in January.
I have all afternoon at this point. Any preference on time, 1:30 through 3:00?
No preference.
No preference.
Whatever works for you, Judge, will make it work.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and schedule it for a little bit later on in the afternoon in case there's a lot to talk about. Let's schedule it for 3 o'clock on Tuesday, the 6th.
January.
Yes, thank you. January 6th at 3 o'clock. And I'm gonna give you the rest of the day for that until 4:30, in case we have a lot of issues that came up like what today did or anything else, to try to use some time there. And then just to reiterate, we have the 16th for Mr. Patterson's jury trial, beginning at 8:30 in the morning. And February 13th at 8:30 for Ms. Faith Double's jury trial. Discovery will be conducted through your use of that subpoena. I'll sign that when I see it, assuming there's no issues with that.
May I ask the bailiffs to present it to you?
Has everybody else seen it?
No, I can read it in its entirety. I used the standard scale form that simply asks the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Lenawee County, or records custodian to produce copies of unredacted investigation reports related to the respondent parents, Faith Double and Jeffrey Patterson, from January 2017 to present. And that is it.
Right, Mr. Shealy, I know you are looking at potentially filing a lot of motions about the issue of discovery. Do you have any objection to the language of that subpoena?
I would prefer to view a copy of it.
Would you like her to read that sentence to you again?
No, that's okay. That wording sounds good.
Okay.
Sure.
'Cause I think that's the entire sum and substance of the subpoena at this point.
No objection.
Mr. Howard?
No objection.
Ms. Stang?
No objections.
Very well. Okay, yes, Deputy.
Should I get retrieved, Your Honor?
Thank you so much. Well, I'll get that signed and started, and then obviously if anybody else needs to file motions or look for additional information, you're welcome to do that, but this one at least will be in progress. Okay, any other discovery issues or pretrial issues for the record?
I have nothing further.
Mr. Shealy?
Yes, one final request. Can we get an order for mediation, please?
Any objections?
I have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so I would assume since your client is pre-adjudication that the mediation would be about the petition and potential adjudication. Is that what I'd like to know what exactly you'd like to have looked at mediation. The mediator will want to know as well.
Could it potentially be an opportunity to discuss a plea agreement?
So yes, mediation regarding.
This is the first time I've heard about them being open to a plea, so absolutely willing to consider that.
Okay, well, Mr. Shealy, your client always has the right to admit or deny the allegations in the petition. He has the right to counsel, which is why you're here. So he would always have the opportunity to enter a plea. That's pretty clearly articulated in the court rules. But we'll give you a chance to talk with him further on that, and I'm happy to ask everyone to participate in a mediation regarding potential resolution of Mr. Patterson's case. Any other issues that you would like the mediator to tackle?
Not at this time, no.
Any objections to asking the department regarding that item to attend mediation on potential resolution of the outstanding petitions?
No objections, Your Honor.
No objection.
No objection.
Very well. Okay, we'll refer this over. Court's happy to offer our standard rate to cover that mediation process. I can tell you for sure that Southeastern Resolution Services Center will accept that. Mr. Phil Shadler will accept that. You're welcome to choose a mediator, but they'll have to agree to, or you'll have to figure out how to pay them if they want something other than our court fee that we are willing to, or able to, I should say, able to offer in support of this process. And we'll make sure that we provide that information to you so that you can get that arranged. It will be the responsibility of the parties to reach out and get that scheduled. And here's hoping that that happens before you come back in December. Any further questions on that point, Mr. Shealy?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Very good. All right. So I'm happy to include that in today's pretrial order. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about as it relates to your concerns about discovery, Mr. Shealy?
No.
All right, very good. So pretrial issues from the department? Or the guardian ad litem?
Yeah, I have just a report and then a recommendation regarding parenting time.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Yes, I was able to meet with all children at their current placement on November 3rd, 2025. I watched all 4 of them play with this like tabletop air hockey game and played with each other. It was pretty just normal sibling interactions for the most part, definitely some fussing and arguing, but everyone got a turn and ended up working out okay. And it's good to see them play together. There's a lot going on in this home, and the transition to foster care, I would not say has been smooth by any stretch of the imagination. This placement had 3 kids of their own and very little local supports in the form of friends or family. But they really have done an absolutely amazing job with these kids across the board. I've heard many positives of how much better the children are behaving since being placed in this home. So although it's been chaotic and kind of a rough transition, it's really starting to work for these kids. And I think there's a lot more support that can be given to this placement to really ensure we're able to keep it as an option for these kids. And we had a meeting yesterday to kind of brainstorm ideas and discuss how we can best support these kids in this family. And we got a couple ideas and just try to work to make sure they're coming to fruition in the next couple weeks. This placement did make an extremely difficult decision to ask for replacement of the oldest kid. Just reflecting on, I think it's really easy for, myself and maybe some people looking on the outside to, say, why are we looking for replacement? He's doing okay there. But when you really listen to the placement and hear what is occurring in the home, it really makes a lot of sense. The oldest kid really needs his own space. He needs his own alone time, and he needs this one-on-one attention that just can't be provided. There's a bunch of reports of just butting heads with cousins, siblings, etc. And in reality, and something the placement's been a huge advocate for, is the fact that he is very behind at school. And because this placement felt that they could not give him what he needs in the form of one-on-one time, support with tutoring or anything along those lines to really allow him to thrive, they realized that they just can't. I see this as a really selfless act by this placement of just really putting the child first and ensuring he gets what he needs. And then, it was really hard decision for them. I know, I talked with them in the meeting yesterday. You could tell it really broke their hearts, but I really do think it's, in the best interest of this child to find a placement where he can get that support that he needs. And then to address the parenting time, shortly after this case was started, jumped right into supervised visitation for all the parents, and that was really chaotic and just really wasn't working well. So we shifted to, at my request and was granted, we shifted to therapeutic visitation with Miss Brene Moore, and they were, each parent got a 2-hour session with their respective children, and that's been going on for a month now. So the middle 2 children and their father, it's gone really well so far. The oldest and the youngest with their father has been okay, but there's just a lot of tension or strain on the relationship with the oldest and his father. And the youngest can be a lot to handle sometimes. So just kind of working on that. And, that might just be a tweak of doing more one-on-one time instead of a 2-hour session with all of them. And something we're definitely exploring, but not trying to cause more round trips and strain for placement. But, and then finally for all 4 kids and their mother, I talked with Miss Brene Moore, the caseworker, and Miss Erin Abbott at Catholic Charities, who's in the process of completing the children's trauma assessments and really just taking all their observations with this parenting time and with the 4 kids and their mother. And it's just a lot of concerns. It was described to me that the youngest and one of the middle children just require a lot of attention. And this causes 2 of the other children to just almost act like they were invisible and just really keep to themselves for the entire visit. The 2 children who have the most trouble, again, the youngest and one of the middle children, just continue to act out until they get what they want. And mom simply just can't control it and cannot correct them. And then just comparing this to, one of those problem children, when they go and do a visit with their dad, he's totally different. There's control over him. He's able to get results and kind of correct his behavior and do this all in an appropriate manner. From talking with Erin Abbott again, just a couple of her observations during the trauma assessments before she's completed those, she did the meeting, she's working on the reports. There's just a total different demeanor between mom and the oldest and mom and the youngest. With the oldest, she's just a lot more negative. And then just a couple of her other observations with that there was some bribery involved. She wasn't following instructions of the instructions and the rules of Catholic Charities when they're conducting these assessments. And just a little bit more that I think will be better explained in the trauma assessments. But her overall comments and concerns to me were that, mom is just not a calming factor for these kids. So at this point, it's been recommended to me by Miss Renee Moore, taking in some of my own observations observations and conversations with some of the other parties in the case that Miss Double and her 4 children suspend visitation just to allow the kids to get into therapy and work on some of their own issues and really put them in a better spot to engage with their mother, because right now it's just really not working out. There's so much strain, chaos, trauma with these children that it seems like every time they're coming to see their mom, it's just traumatizing them. And then when they return home, back to the placement or even during the visits, it's just really not going well, and not allowing these kids to be put in a position to make any progress to move forward. Really, when I'm talking with these service providers and hearing some of their observations and concerns, what really needs to happen is this relationship needs to be almost torn down to the studs and kind of start over and allow both parties to really work on themselves before there's this re-engagement, to allow and make strides towards reunification. And right now, I just think that these visitations, again, are just causing so much stress on the children and trauma to these children that it's really not getting anywhere. And we're just kind of spinning tires at this point. So I do believe that this visitation is harmful to the children, even if it is supervised. And I think all the kids and the mother really need to engage with individual therapists, work on some parenting skills, work on being able to multitask, and then come together and try to re-engage in visitation and try to move forward and make progress towards reunification. So the children were not consulted on this recommendation to spend their parenting time, mostly due to their age, but that is what I believe is best for them at this moment. Thank you.
Judge, I apologize. I've got a hearing. Can I be excused, Ms. Thomas being here? I don't want to be disrespectful and just walk out.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amadeo.
Thank you, Judge.
Right. I would imagine you have some response to that motion, Ms. Burke.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. My client reports that she is already in counseling. She's been engaged in individual counseling for quite some time, and that she is doing voluntary services. She is enrolled in a class through Care Pregnancy Center for parenting classes, and she has 4 kids, and they have high needs, and she's doing all she can to juggle those during her visits, but she doesn't believe that stopping those visits is what's going to be best for them. In order for them to work together to have successful visits, she needs to be able to have visits, and that can't happen if obviously we've requested a suspension. Maybe there could be individual visits. They could separate them out and build back up to having all 4 at one time. I think that there are a lot of other options that should be explored before we go straight to suspending visits, because suspending and then jumping back in with 4 is going to be difficult either way. So I think that that's kind of like our last resort. And this case is, although it's been before the court before, this time it's fairly new. And I think that in order to set this family up to see success, I think that severing that ability to have parenting time is not going to be best for the children, and it's certainly not going to be best for my client. So she would ask that maybe we have some sort of parenting time individual, maybe we do the middle two and the oldest and the youngest, or we separate them out somehow. That way she's still able to engage in those parenting times with her children and then work on those skills to help manage all four of them at once. Can I say something? My client would like to briefly testify, if that's okay. Just wait, I'll just throw you in.
Okay, let me get the initial arguments from our other counselors and then I will come back to you. Thank you. Any position, Mr. Shealy?
Is this directed just at Miss Double, or is this also directed at Mr. Patterson?
It doesn't appear that there's any request to change or modify the parenting time from at the discretion of Ms. Renee Moore as it relates to your client.
Okay, no position, thank you.
The department have a position?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are sensitive to both arguments at this point in time, Your Honor. I don't know that this is necessarily an argument rather than just the reality of the situation. Yes, mom does have 4 children versus the dads who are visiting with 2 children at a time. However, we are trusting our mental health professionals to assist us in stabilizing families to get their opinions back. And if the goal is reunification, then we would expect for mom to be able to handle the 4 children. And a lot of these needs, particularly as Mr. Howitt had pointed out, with the oldest child being delayed in school and having these behavioral needs, these are not new. I mean, arguably resulting from his family of origin and how he was raised. And so there's a lot of things that the children themselves have to work on. And from my understanding, Ms. Moore would like the children to be stabilized, to have rapport built with their service providers, and then go through an introductory process with Ms. Double. And I think that also from at least conversations with my team, we would like for the therapists to communicate with one another to understand what was observed in parenting time, if those things can be addressed with mom and with her own individual therapist, and if they can also be addressed within the children's therapy as well. So at this time, Your Honor, I think we are joining in with Mr. Howitt in requesting that parenting time for the time being be suspended. Until we have the trauma assessments back with clear recommendations on how to ensure the emotional and psychological welfare of the children and their parenting time. And without that information, we're really left to Mr. Howitt's reporting on that, and the observations have also been shared with the caseworker. And so I know that they're very consistent with what the caseworker is aware of as well.
Mr. Howard, did you have any initial witnesses or additional offer proof that you wanted the court to look at today?
I believe Ms. Dimick brought an email from Ms. Renee Moore about, her request, and it explains it there. I got most of my anecdotes from phone calls with Renee Moore and Ms. Erin Abbott, but I know she brought a couple copies of the email that was circulated to myself.
Okay, Ms. Dimick, come on up to our witness stand.
Should I bring these with me?
I don't know what you're looking at.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Okay. I'll hear it well, Mr.
How long has the supervised parenting time been going on, or the therapeutic parenting time?
About a month.
And
could you scoot up and speak right into that microphone? I'm having trouble hearing you from here, and it could be me, but it's pretty quiet.
My apologies. I'll project a little better.
Thank you.
And currently, what is the therapeutic visitation schedule?
Currently, the therapeutic visitation schedule is 2 hours each week for each parent. Faith has hers on Tuesdays. Mama has hers on Tuesdays. One of the dads on Wednesdays, one of the dads on Thursdays.
And can you share any of your observations from any therapeutic visitations that you've observed or witnessed?
Yes, I have only observed one therapeutic visitation, and it was with mom this past week, actually. It was a lot. one of the middle children was just not doing well before the visit. It was reported to me by the current placement that he was just being very defiant, and that this pattern of behavior does occur around the time that he visits with his parents. And when he arrived at the visit, he was not any better. He was kicking and screaming. He spat in his mom's face. I mean, he was just inconsolable. And throughout the visit, they all got escalated to some degree. It was mainly one of the middle children and the youngest getting escalated. They were both, they were both yelling at their mom that they didn't like her. And it was just out of control. And it was just hard to watch.
Do you have a recommendation as to whether you believe it's best for the children to have visitation suspended right now?
From my own observations before therapeutic visitation, as well as the observations that I've read from the therapist, I do believe that Brene is completely right to suggest that they be suspended, just because of this pattern of behavior where their behavior is escalating around visits. It's not something that's super consistent other than that identified pattern.
Can you elaborate on any concerns that Ms. Moore has shared with you regarding the visitations and why this is her recommendation at this point?
Yes, there has been a number of concerns, particularly with the middle child. And every single report that I received, he has been escalated every single visitation. And this has started to kind of make him unravel outside of it. But Brene has also reported to me that there is sort of a struggle that she's seeing with mom and keeping all 4 children engaged during visits. Oftentimes, the oldest and one of the middle children are left alone and not really given much attention. Additionally, there has been concerns about mom talking about adult matters in front of the children and having adult conversations, as well as not being, I guess the best terminology would be inappropriate discussion over the therapeutic visitation itself and the matters over the homework and stuff that she receives as a part of therapeutic visitation.
And then there was an evaluation last week, from my understanding, that occurred during Ms. Double's parenting time with one of the children. Can you just elaborate on how that one-on-one evaluation went when it was just the 2 of them there?
Yes. So one of the middle children had a telehealth evaluation, and we organized it to be conducted with the therapist present before the therapeutic visitation took place, just for ease of transportation and everything. It was reported to me that the child was extremely dysregulated due to the inappropriate conversation that mom was having with the service provider. It was reported that she was talking extremely negatively about that child's father in front of him while he was in the room, and negatively about the matter of this case in front of the child. And the therapist tried to do what she could to move him from that situation, but there wasn't much to do because they were in such an enclosed space, and he had already heard it. And this evaluation was for the child. It was to assess him and evaluate him for autism. And it was reported to me that it devolved into mom talking about herself in the case instead of the child.
I have nothing further.
Questions, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Mick, do you have an email from Ms. Moore outlining her concerns?
Yes.
Is it with you right now?
Yes.
And is this sack of paper in your seat, is that a copy for, are there copies?
I have copies with me right now.
Okay. For Ms., Your Honor, I'm not sure how best to do so. I would typically not have this read onto the record, but with Mr. Shealy not being present in person to review it, I don't know how the court would like me to proceed in asking the court to receive it.
Mr. Shealy, I'm gonna need to know what's in that email. For these hearings, we are pre-adjudication. The court is monitoring to make sure that the children's services are being, their needs are met, and that the department is meeting their obligations to the children and the family pre-adjudication. The important piece of that is to just remind you that the rules of evidence do not apply. We're sort of moving at a juncture where it's almost emergent in nature. And with the motion on the table to suspend parenting time, I need to have this information in order to make the best decision. I've already decided that Ms. Brene Moore will be the person making the decisions on parenting time. So the question is, do you want this read onto the record, or do you want to lodge any objections to this at this point? What is your position?
I'd just like a copy of it by email.
You can definitely do that, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you. Ms. Berger?
I would just like to see it.
All right. Do you have all the copies?
Yes.
All right. Deputies, would you mind grabbing those copies from Ms. Dube and passing them on to the attorneys that are here? Ms. Thomas, do you have the ability to, do you have this email?
I believe it's buried within a body of emails. So
I can send it real quick.
Thank you. All right, so you'll be looking for an email from Ms. Berger, Mr. Shealy. And I'll
Thank
take
you.
a copy. Very good. Okay, so Mr. Howard, it's up to you. If you'd like to have this read into the record, I am receiving it as an exhibit.
I would not like it read into the record.
All right, very well. So we'll take a moment then for the attorneys to consider this, especially Ms. Berger. All right, do you have any other questions for this witness, Ms. Thomas?
yes, if I may, Your Honor. Okay, Mr. Nick, the letter that we're all reading and now receiving, thank you for bringing that. Was this did this help formulate your opinion, or is this simply a summary of the conversations that you've had with Ms. Moore?
It's an accumulation of conversations that we've been having.
Okay, and I know that Mr. Howitt has already spoke to this point, but have you been able to speak with Ms. Abbott, who completed the trauma assessments with the children?
Yes, I was actually present for 3 of the 4 trauma assessments.
Okay, and is there anything that you and Ms. Abbott have discussed that would differ from what Mr. Howitt has already shared?
No.
Okay. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Are you ready for questions, Ms. Berger?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Go ahead. I'm sorry, what's your last name again?
Dimmick.
Dimmick. Okay. Ms. Dimmick, were you there for the alleged adult conversation between my client and Ms. Moore?
One of them, yes.
The one that is indicated in the letter or the
I
email?
believe so.
Okay, and was she in response to an answer to a question that was asked for the assessment?
Can you
Sure.
repeat the question?
Was that during an autism assessment?
The adult conversation?
Yes.
No,
Okay, when was that?
that was this last Tuesday at the parent visitation.
And there was no other assessment or anything there?
On Tuesday, no.
Was there a concern about interactions as it relates to the autism assessment?
Yes.
Okay, and did the assessor ask if this child has experienced any trauma?
I'm not fully aware of what happened during the autism assessment.
Okay, were you there for that?
No.
Okay. And you've only observed one parenting time?
One therapeutic parenting time.
Okay. And the children don't, to the best of your knowledge, they don't exhibit any behaviors outside of these therapeutic parenting times?
They do surrounding them.
What does that mean?
They're very hard to re-regulate after parenting times, and oftentimes they show extremely defiant behavior before getting in the car. They don't want to go.
Have they said they don't want to go?
Yes.
All of them?
Especially the middle child, who has been showing a lot of behaviors, has explicitly said that to me.
Do the children receive individual counseling outside of therapeutic parenting time with mom?
They are currently referred for CMH and will start services next week.
When was that referral sent?
That referral was sent, I believe, last week. And the oldest is currently in individual counseling, sorry.
So the petition was filed almost 2 months ago, is that right?
Correct.
So what took so long to get referrals for individual counseling set out?
There was a lot of focus on wanting the trauma assessments done to look over their recommendations.
Over whose recommendation? I'm sorry.
The trauma assessors.
Okay. And couldn't it be possible that the children are exhibiting behaviors because of the situation?
What situation?
Court involvement, your involvement, you know, all of our involvement.
Possibly.
So we don't know for sure if there's a behavior that's being exhibited because of mom. It could just be because there's, you know, court involvement again.
I can't answer that.
So there's no way of knowing, right?
Potentially, yeah.
No other questions, thank you.
Any questions, Ms. Stang? Just briefly, have you had an opportunity to discuss the issue of the children's behaviors and what's been occurring with regards to Mr. Duby recently?
Yes.
Okay, are you aware of if he has an opinion on mother's visits with the children?
He does have an opinion, yes.
And what is his opinion that you've been informed of?
I was informed that he does great with the children, but he did see during one of his children's trauma assessments that, I mean, he was just extremely dysregulated from his interactions with mom. So he believes that there is a negative connotation to those visits.
Okay, I have nothing further, thank you.
Mr. Shealy, did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Howard? Redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Trustee Frost?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for your testimony. Mayor, return to your seat. anyone else you'd like us to hear from, Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Bye-bye, Your Honor.
Very good. Ms. Faith Double, come on up for a witness stand.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. And have you heard the request of the guardian ad litem to suspend your parenting time?
I have.
And do you believe that's in the best interest of your children?
No, I do not.
Why not?
One of the visits that I had with Malachi,
remember we're on YouTube, so just
sorry.
use abbreviations, maybe.
With
With
the
M.
second oldest, that works good too. With my second oldest, where he was dysregulated, he was very upset. And during the visit, it got to be towards the end of the visit, and he came up to me and he told me that he was sorry, and he told me that he loved me. He told me that he missed me, and I asked him if that's why he was acting out, and he told me yes. He also told me that he wants to come home, and also because I'm going to be honest, so there were 3 referrals from U of M that U of M had placed out when they had first got taken. And they thought that, well, the pediatrician thinks that he has autism. The U of M, pretty much, I have it in paperwork, states that he has autism. And one of those referrals that were supposed to be in, I have been going to every single one of my kids' doctor's appointments. And at the last doctor's appointment that we had, the pediatrician herself looked at Atlas and asked her, why have these referrals not been placed out yet? Why are these referrals not being done? Because one of those referrals was supposed to be a 10-week program that me and Malachi were supposed to attend together, so I could learn how to better manage those behaviors that come from autism. And none of them were followed up on. And the pediatrician even said, like, honestly, if that was us, we would have already been hit for neglect.
You believe that you were told to follow up on something and you took this long to follow up, that there would be a case open?
I have asked Atlas and I spoke.
Yes or no?
Okay, say that again.
You believe that if it were you and you would have taken this long to follow up on recommended services, that you would have a case open?
Yes, I do.
And do you believe that a lot of M's behaviors could be due to an autism diagnosis, not some sort of related issue to you specifically?
Yes, I do.
And do you think that he is maybe mad at you because this case is open and now he has been removed from his home?
Yes, I do. And he has told me to my face that that is the reason why he's been acting out, is because he loves me and he wants to come back home.
And you think that's fair that he could be upset, right?
I do. He's 5. He's never been away from me ever in his life. And this is the first time that he's ever been away from me. So he probably does hate me at this point because he probably thinks that I abandoned him. And to throw autism and ADHD up on there too, like, I completely understand why he's so dysregulated. And my visits have been so chaotic because Malik requires a lot of attention. And I am dealing with 4 kids instead of 2 that they get.
Do you think that splitting up visits could be beneficial?
Yes, I do.
And you would make as many visits per week as possible, right? If they said you can visit individually with each kid, you could accommodate for 4 visits a week?
Yes, I do.
And you wouldn't have a problem with that?
No.
And you would be doing that in addition to the voluntary services that you've already begun?
Yes.
And is that what you're asking the court to do, as an alternative to suspending your time completely?
Yes, because honestly, that is why the visits are so chaotic, is because M is very dysregulated because of autism, because of ADHD, because of, this is the first time he's ever been away from me. He's told me, like, I've asked him why he's upset. He's told me to my face that it is because he wants to come back home. All of my children, every single time I go to a visit with them, tell me that they want to come home. My daughter screams for me every time I put her in my sister's car.
There was some testimony about, M's, autism assessment that was like done virtually. Is that right?
Yeah.
And did that assessor ask you if there had been any trauma in his life?
Oh, it wasn't for M, it was for B.
Okay.
And I was not talking crap about their dad, and this is another thing why this is another reason why I didn't want to plead guilty, because you guys are trying to make me look like I'm some kind of criminal.
Not me, guys.
Not you. They are. They're trying to make me look like I'm some kind of criminal. The only thing that was talked about is the guy that did the appointment had asked me if there has ever been trauma.
So you weren't, trying to make that appointment about you or about dad, or you were just trying to explain kind of the situation?
Yes, he asked me if there was trauma, and I told him the truth.
And this is right.
There's trauma. His dad did try to suffocate him. Like, I don't know how else to beat around the bush. Like, you guys all know that he tried to suffocate his son. And I don't really think that it's considered talking crap. The doctor asked me if there was trauma. I said the truth.
As it specifically relates to your parenting time, is there anything else that you want to tell the court today?
No, I just asked that they all be separated, because it is hard at this time to keep them all regulated, because Malachi does have autism and maybe ADHD. And like, I do better with them by myself. And if these referrals would have been followed up on, like the pediatrician has asked Atlas why they haven't been followed up on, then I could have already been doing this 10-week program with my son to help address what needs to be addressed. And that this all could have been avoided if Atlas would have had done the referrals months ago like she was supposed to.
So do you think if by separating visits, doing services with your children individually, you would be able to work back up to having visits with all of them at the same time?
Yeah.
I have no other questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Thomas?
Thank you. Ms. Double, the referrals you're referring to, I'm trying to understand them, okay? You had mentioned that at the time of removal, U of M made like 3 different referrals for
Yep.
M?
Yep.
Okay. Who did they send those referrals to?
I'm not sure who they sent them to. All I got is a letter that I have sent to Atlas. I have got a hold of her boss because she has taken so long to do these referrals that were supposed to be done. And Atlas has known about these referrals since since the second day of the kids being removed.
Okay. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but so you received a notice of I'm gonna call it like a treatment plan, essentially?
Yeah, he was U of M sent out a thing where me and Malachi were supposed to do this 10-week program together to help address the behaviors and to help address trauma. And they were supposed to do a contrast because he drools a lot, and they were trying to figure out if it was like something to do with his mouth muscles themselves. And then she had sent out another referral that me and Malachi were supposed to go sit through a 3-hour appointment to see if he has ADHD, because all of these behaviors that he is doing is backed by autism.
Okay.
Like,
And
they're
then-
all signs of autism.
Okay.
I have a letter from U of M stating that he basically has autism. His pediatrician thinks he has autism. Like, these referrals were supposed to be done months ago.
So why didn't you make the referrals?
Why didn't I make the referrals? Because I had told Atlas about it several times. I've asked Atlas about it several times. I didn't know that I was able to do those referrals because technically they're under your guys' jurisdiction. So you guys should have been the ones to do them.
But you go to all the appointments, correct?
I do.
And you're being updated about medical things and if they need anything, like your
Yep, and
your
I
rights
have
are
your
still in
I'm
place?
going to object to this line of
And
questioning.
I have
One
asked,
second. So I don't think that it's fair to ask my client why she's not following up on services when her children are not in her care.
Yeah.
We all know she can't call and schedule an appointment for her children. They're not in her care. She can't do that.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you all know that, given the nature of the allegations in the petition and how fresh this case is compared to how recently these kids were just released back to these parents, which was just in January, I have access to all my notes from the prior case. And, I'll just preface this so that you can all ask about it. My notes indicate that there was some analysis done in July of 2024 indicating that an autism assessment needed to be completed. And at this time, the children were with your client, Ms. Berger. So far beyond the issue of whether or not these referrals have been made in the last 60 days when the children have been under the jurisdiction of the court and the department. The much larger question here is why have these assessments not been completed when that referral was under your client's responsibilities as of July of 2024?
And I can have her testify to that, Your Honor, but I believe she had been taking them to those appointments and where she stopped and where the department should have picked back up, that's what she's saying, there's been a lapse.
All right, I would love to hear some more detail on that point.
Sure.
okay, so the answer to that question is when that first referral went out for autism, Jeff had taken them Jeff had taken them in there for that appointment. Jeff never told me that there was an autism thing that was sent out. And when I learned about it by the pediatrician,
Which was when?
Which
was when?
Whenever they were sent out the second time. And I told the pediatrician, I said, cause she said that she did put out that referral. And I told the pediatrician that nobody had ever called me, not once.
So
And-
when they told you about it, that's when you started following up with you, right?
Yes, yes. But anyways, back to what I was trying to say is that when I found out that that had been put out, I started doing my own investigation. And the place that she had originally put out that autism thing to, I called them myself. And they told me that they never got a hold of me because the phone number that they were given by the pediatrician was not a good number. And it was an old number. So I called the pediatrician's doctor's office and I said, what's going on? I've updated you guys with my phone number. And Amanda, I remember exactly who I talked to from the pediatrician's office. Her name's Amanda. Amanda told me that when I had called to update my phone number with the doctor's office, that they updated all of the phone numbers on my kids except for Braxton and left Braxton as an old phone number. And that is why they had not, that is why they were not able to get a hold of me about the referral. So that again should not fall back on me.
So as soon as you found out about it though, you followed up?
I did.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And
I think Ms. Thomas was asking questions, so
The
I'll
ori-
let her take back over.
Can I say one more thing? The original autism thing that she had sent it out to, I think was Centria of Autism. And
Who are you talking about? Who is she?
the pediatrician, the referral that you're talking about from 2024 that everybody's saying that I never followed up on. So I did, that's what I was just saying. I called the Century of Autism. I'm pretty sure that's where it's called, that's where it's from. And that
Just stop because I'm not even the information that you're offering hasn't been contextualized or structured in a way that's relevant at this point. So I'm
Well,
gonna go
you
back
asked
to
me why it
Ms.
wasn't
Thomas.
followed up on,
gonna
and
go-
I'm telling you why it
Ms.
wasn't followed
Double,
up on.
I need you to stop talking right now. Ms. Thomas is in the process of asking questions. We're gonna let her finish that, and then Ms. Berger can come back to you and maybe ask you some other questions in a minute. Ms. Thomas.
Your Honor, at this point, I have no further questions.
All right, back to you, Ms. Berger.
Okay, so there was a recommendation for an autism assessment in July or June of 2024, right? Okay, and that was given to Dad.
Yep.
And
I just want to clarify for you that it was actually part of a CTAC evaluation that was provided to both parents.
okay,
No, it wasn't.
well, if the record says it does, then it
Okay,
does.
the record speaks for itself, Ms.
Yeah.
Double.
So when were you made aware that he needed to have an assessment?
When I asked her to place it back out for the second time.
When?
With the correct phone number.
Like date, time?
It was about 3 months ago. Well, it's whenever it was the close to time that they were removed from me.
Okay, so at that time you were like, hey, what's going on with this assessment? I haven't heard anything else. You reached out to the pediatrician said, oh, we have the wrong number. You updated that. And then from there, you received a phone call to do the assessment. Is that right?
I had already updated my phone number. Whoever
Right.
updated
But you updated
did
it
not
again.
update it right, because they updated my phone number with all of the kids'
Except one.
except for the one.
That was needing that.
Yep.
Okay, assessment. Okay. Okay, so as it relates to parenting time, you think that, again, you think that you could do individual sessions and work towards having all of them back together at once, right? Okay, I don't have any other questions, okay?
Okay, any other attorneys have questions for this witness?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Shield. He said no.
Okay. Do you agree with the assessment from Ms. Renee Moore and the caseworker myself that parenting time is not going well? Just yes or no?
No.
You don't agree with that assessment?
No.
There's nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. May you return to your seat. Anyone else would like us to hear from Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Counselors, anything else for the record today?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your
Then
Honor.
obviously my decision for you on parenting time.
Nothing additional.
Okay, any comments about the issue of parenting time, the request for that, the continued removal, or anything else pending our next retrial?
Nothing further.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
Okay, all right. Okay, Mr. Shealy, I can read lips, but technically we need your response verbally.
No, Judge.
Thank you. All right, well, as I previously stated, as it relates to the request for parenting time, the court looks at this case, frankly, in a much larger perspective than simply what's happened since the removal on 9/19/25. And the petition asks the court to do that. The last case with this family and both of these parents and all of these children occurred as recently as April 12, 2024 in a petition requesting in-home jurisdiction. Many pieces of analysis were accomplished during the course of time that the parents were subject to the court's jurisdiction during that last case. Some of the things that came up were some diagnoses and some needs for each of the parents, as well as for the children, including that need for further analysis, an in-depth analysis of M's special needs, as well as some of the other children's needs. Part of the issues at the last juncture were the unmet needs of the children around some of these things, but at the time the court closed jurisdiction back in January, the family seemed to be on track with addressing some of those. The need for removal became adamantly clear, or abundantly clear, I should say, for all of the reasons that the courts previously indicated, but it's very clear that those reasons are indeed very similar to some of the issues that arose at the outset of the last time this family had to have court involvement. And that does include some of those services that would have been necessary for M, potentially for Ms. Double, and that those have not taken place, and that the children's mental health has suffered significantly as a result of that in the meantime. I have already indicated that parenting time should be subject to the authority of the therapeutic supervised parenting time coordinator. In this case, that is Ms. Renee Moore. We obviously have another CTAC underway. I would say to the department and our agencies and our care providers that you don't have to go back or reach back very far in order to find some of the analysis that has been completed on these children. And I would ask you to do that so that you can make sure that our current analysis and service providers, thank you, this is just my copy of the petition. So that our current service providers that are working with the children can have the same contacts in order to most effectively streamline and coordinate services. So I do appreciate, I'll say this, I appreciate the department, Mr. Howitt and Ms. Renee Moore asking me to make this decision so that I can have the opportunity to listen to Ms. Double and Mr. Patterson and the arguments of the attorneys before I formally suspended parenting time, because I had already effectively given her the discretion to do that. I do find that as a result of her observations, our caseworkers' observations, and the unmet needs of the children, their demonstrated behaviors around parenting time, that it is consistent with the showing that there's harm associated with parenting time with Ms. Double at this time. I am suspending parenting time. I want to remind everyone that we are back here December 1st. Thank you, Ms. Double. We appreciate your time for today. Yep. We'll be back here December 1st at 3 o'clock. I would love to see further updates from our service providers, from Ms. Renee Moore, perhaps from Erin Abbott, confirmation of circulation of those records that may be useful in expanding the perspective on this issue. The removal will continue. The children are remain to be in the safest and least restrictive circumstances under at the moment. And we'll explore that further again when we come back for pretrial on December 1st at 3 o'clock. I will issue the order from today's pretrial that encompasses all of the things that were decided over the course of today, including scheduling, the suspension of parenting time, the request to circulate prior records that are implicated significantly in our petition for our service providers, as well as those changes to parenting time for Ms. Double. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Thank you.